Oh, it did. Hi, everyone. Welcome to bonus content. I'm Alex, Nobishin, and Scott are here. We're your three-man dream team. It's happening. It's going down. And we're back together. The family, holding hands. Thanks for holding it down last week, Nobishin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Just doing that one-man show that you like were low-key super embarrassed about, and just texting me like, "Hey, maybe just don't put it up." And I was like, "Nah, it's going up. It's it's going up." You did a really great job too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I listened to it, so I'm allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like Trevor said the same thing too, and even Mark, fucking like randomly listened to it. And he's like, "Oh, you did a great job." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I guess."
I did trim it down, so that audio version is like crisp. It's tight. Yeah, you did good and talked about your games. I threw a little extra me in there.
Okay.
For audio listeners, I talked about my games. Talked a little bit about the raid, and apologized for the show being late. But
was your segment in like longer than the entire show that I did?
I was really worried that would happen. No, it wasn't. It was about the same length as your video games talk.
Okay.
So, fuck you is what I'm saying. Scott's here. Hi, Scott.
Hello.
Let's talk about, I don't know, what's up? What's happening? What's going on, Nobishin? What's the word?
Nothing much. It's just been work.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking for something better. That's basically all that's really been going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of other than that though. Actually hung out with my friend Tony like the other day, which I see him like every once in a while. Like we just hang out for like a good like couple of hours. But usually when I go over to his place, his daughter Calista just comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, Uncle Brian, let's play. So like, seeing a child like that and like her being an only child, knowing that she's like not really like has too many people around her to play with. I always like spend time and play with her. And like Tony even joked about like every time like I come over and like come to actually see him, like Calista takes over and like I just end up playing with her and he just falls asleep on the couch. So that's usually how it always goes out. But this time when I went over, she actually had one of her friends over, one of the neighbor kids, and like she was playing with her the entire time. So like me and Tony actually had to hang out. We like watched some old animes that we used to talk about like on the regular, and even played like Super Mario 3D World together. And like I haven't had like a good like co-op experience like a good while, like other than like with my nephew obviously, but like someone at my same age like have a good co-op experience as far as like getting through a level and like be on the same page while having to actually say something like we had to go like do all this while getting all the stars and like the stamps, right? Like, oh yeah, you only have to tell me this, like we know this, like we only have to even say anything about it. Like, okay, I'll die over here, you go over there, you get the star, okay, good, we're good, and all that other stuff. Make sure you get on top of the flagpole, because like he was playing with Peach the entire game, and like I was saying like, oh, so I gotta make sure that you always get on top of the flagpole. So like, jump on my head so you get on top of the flagpole, so you get the sticker at the end. So yeah, we were like on the same page, and it was pretty great. He's almost completed that game, more or less. As far as like doing one character through, like he's almost at Champions Road, where I stopped. Because like
Wait, you never finished Champions Road?
No, because I had to beat Champions Road. For me myself, like I did the final thing is that one more level there in Champions Road, and I never beat Champions Road, so that's why I never beat the final thing in Super Mario 3D World, so that's why I don't have the Mario sticker. Did
you see like the thing at the end?
No, I've never seen it. I've seen the original like the credits sequence, like for the like when you first beat that game, yeah, but like the whatever happens after that, like I have no idea what's after that. So.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Or
I'd forgotten. That's I really liked that level. I hate that like at the end you get the sticker for the character you've beaten all the levels with.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Peaches, and
right.
Then I was like, oh, now I have to go back and beat all the levels with all the other characters. I'm like, well, fuck that.
Yeah.
I just put it down and stop playing. Never 100% that game, but I had a great time with it. So. Man,
Is it that much better? Because like I done Bowser, but like I don't know like
it's a very cute thing. It's not like gonna redefine the game
yeah
experience.
I realize that. I mean like the Bowser thing was like really cool at the end of that game. So like
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
so like I didn't know it was like something up to that level again.
It is more like a sweet message from the developer to the player.
Okay, cool.
It's in that kind of category of nice thing, and I was like very heartwarmed by it because I really love that game, and it was like, oh wow, yeah, like I had such a great time playing this. So it's one of those things. So it's worth seeing. I as someone who also loves that game, you should for sure see it. Yeah, man, that's cool. I haven't had one of those in a while. I mean, like the last one really was when we all played New Super Luigi Bros. At Extra Life. Like,
that wasn't.
You're like, just don't fucking talk to me. Yeah, no. I don't know. I used to like
I was having fun with that.
Like part of the Destiny raids is something like that though.
Yeah,
because,
obviously.
you get in a rhythm of it. So.
Yeah, hold on. To be honest, though, I don't think we really played the New Super Luigi Bros.
Yeah.
Enough for us to actually have a bad time with it.
I think like we had a good time with how bad it was, but if we had played any more, like literally past the point when Tony's like, I turned off the console, I think we would have just started getting more progressively miserable. Nabishin had a terrible time though.
I hate those controls. I hate the feel of those games when like you can't like run through each other. You're bumping against each other. You jump on each other's heads. All that other bullshit.
Yeah.
I played as Nabbit too. So I barely died, but like it's still just like the experience of it. I can't stand it.
Yeah. I like, especially when you look at something like Super Mario 3D World. Like that's just a really fun cooperative experience. It's chaotic with 4 people. Like I don't think that'd be the ideal way to play it. Like you said, like 2 or 3 is it's probably like the best way to do that. But I still think like, multiplayer makes sense for this game, where it doesn't really make sense for the 2D ones.
Like even Rayman Legends, this is like another game that's like does like co-op really well. Like you could fuck with each other, you could like knock each other off and like hit each other, but like it doesn't like impede on what you're trying to do fundamentally. Like every time you die in New Super Mario Brothers, like the screen just freezes for like that split second. That's that quick frame dip, and like that just fucks everybody up. And it's just a dumb thing.
And Rayman's like so focused on speed too. Like everyone's just full forward, full force.
Never stop.
Never stop. Yeah, so I get that. 3D World's cool. Man, this is gonna be a new Mario game this year, guys. Holy shit! I was just.
And it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I was just like thinking about like the levels I've seen from Mario Odyssey. I'm like, fuck, dude, that game looks so good.
Like I said, it's a really good thing that you did not see.
I know, because at one point I'm gonna be, or like multiple points actually, I'm gonna be texting you while I'm playing it. Like, was this the thing? Because holy shit.
It was like when Easy Allies watched the Nintendo Direct and like Super Mario Odyssey just came on and like Kyle just turned away. He just turned his head like, no, it's too much. They're showing too much, and like everybody was just freaking out around him. He couldn't look at it, and then like
eyes closed, looking away.
Yeah, and everybody after like the trailer was over, he's like, yeah, Kyle, you're right. Like we shouldn't have seen this.
You did the right thing.
So yeah,
Scott's like not seen anything on it, so he's gonna be like super raw on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I haven't really. I haven't really tried to look at it.
Shit, man. Because like you were tweeting about it. I was tweeting about it with you. Of like the just please God stop, please, please stop. Because like I still haven't played Hellblade, which I would very much like to play.
Apparently, it's not that good though.
I've heard it's very good. I've heard it's okay from people. So I think I will get something out of it at the very least. I have to finish Uncharted, which I'm most of the way through, or halfway through at least. And I like that a lot.
And then you got that new game.
Yeah. I'm like working on Metroid, and then Danganronpa comes out on Tuesday. I'm not too worried about Danganronpa though, like because I'll probably like beat that in one sitting by accident again. So. Because I have a fucking problem. And then it's like, oh, and then September is over. And it's like, what? Yeah. October starts, and then it's all... I don't even remember what's coming out in October.
Mario, Wolfenstein. There's other stuff, too. Assassin's Creed. There's something at the beginning
Evil
of
Within.
October. Yeah, Evil Within, South Park. Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
South Park comes out in October?
Yeah, that's actually got gone gold. That's news, but
Oh, okay.
whatever.
Yeah. Finally, that might actually be a real game.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, since this isn't too irrational passion-y. Do you think, with all the shit South Park that game is doing, has it flown a little too close to the sun?
No. Well,
It was like the Kanye West thing, where I was like,
oh yeah, a lot of people were criticizing it. Yeah, it's like,
I don't know if this seems like in super good taste.
but I don't think that game's gonna get a lot of passes. I'll say that as far as like, oh, this is like a reminiscence from what's happened in the show and like, stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, I was listening to like Austin Walker talk about like the difficulty slider thing. And I was like, yeah, I get it. Like, I don't get it, but I get it as much as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how that's received. I don't know, man. Like, it's real good. It's real good out there for the games, and then real bad out there for everything else. Like you said in your topic list for
Fresh off the dome.
Fresh off the dome.
Yeah, it's man. Like,
although, like, the real bad stuff has at least like subsided a little bit.
Not really, because like the shit what happened in Puerto Rico. I got so worried about Silver, and like he just tweeted today, and I was like, oh god, thank God. It's like he won't have, like, the whole country won't even have power for like up to like 4 months. Like, that's crazy to me. Crazy.
Yeah, man. Like the slew of like 3 big hurricanes back to back to back was rough. What were we talking about? Video games?
Yeah.
Bonus content.
Yeah.
Anything else happening in Ocean?
No, that's pretty much been my week.
How's life, Scott?
Pretty good so far.
Okay. Pretty good.
Another fairly boring week.
For reference, like our schedules are all messed up, and we are starting recording on Fridays this coming week. Finally, it's happening. So the 28th, I believe, is this coming Friday. It's the 24th now, 5 days from now. Yeah, so or 29th, 28th or 29th. One of those 2 days, whichever the one is, that is the Friday. And then we are on Friday nights recordings for the foreseeable future. We'll reassess as we need to going forward. So because of that, like, we had to record Sunday this week because like a big part of that was like my availability at work had to switch over. But then I got scheduled all night Friday and all night Saturday when it did switch over. So it's like, okay, well, we'll have to do this next week, and we'll have to record Sunday this week, and it was just a whole mess. So Tony's not here because I fucked it all up. But we managed it. What time do you normally get off on Fridays, Option?
It usually depends. Like I'm normally off on Fridays, but like I'm working this Friday because I need off Saturday because that's Callista's birthday. So I'm usually off on Fridays.
Okay. Keep me posted because I was thinking maybe we could move it up to 6:30 recording instead of 7:30.
Yeah, like if I'm at work, I'm usually working like in the morning. Normally, that's usually how it is. So like if I ever close, it's like usually on a Tuesday. So.
But yeah, my week was pretty lackadaisical as well. I was very for where I work, let's say, it was a very stressful week, and it's done, and I have today off, and I will have Sundays off for the foreseeable future, as that is my new availability. Sundays and Wednesdays off, so I'm stoked about that.
Out of curiosity, did the more expensive one sell more, or did you even have a lot of those?
That I can't respond to that without tipping my hand. But
Okay.
I will put in the text chat
Sure.
my response. But don't worry, that was the number one question for everyone. So
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
funny.
you can see why I couldn't say that. But yeah, I got, this was just like a big weekend at work. I got like free food from where I work. So like I got Chipotle on Friday. I was like,
Oh, nice.
And I was like, well, if this is gonna be free, I'll try the queso. Oh, we haven't even talked about Chipotle queso on this podcast. This is very important. We need to stop the presses.
Apparently, it happens now.
It is happening. It is available at all Chipotle locations. I got Chipotle in my burrito for the first time on Friday. Very good. So like it's like a cheddar based queso as opposed to like a queso blanco that you would get like a Qdoba. So it like I don't know if it goes super well with chips. I ate it with chips. I thought it was pretty good still. I thought it tasted way better in the burrito itself though. Throwing it out there. Here's Alex O'Neill Chipotle Hacks 2017. It's good. I'm glad that they have it. It is not like my favorite queso. I think Qdoba queso is better because it tastes like queso con carne, like what you would expect queso to taste like. Whereas this tastes kind of like Chipotle cheese, which, like I said, is more cheddary. So I don't know. A lot of people are like, "It sucks," and I waited all this time and it sucks. And I'm like, "All right, calm down, guys. It's not." Jesus Christ.
I mean,
like,
it's cheese, so you know my opinion of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited. Happened. I went with Damien. It's like, hey, we're gonna try just Chipotle queso. But the cool thing is they now sell their sides, their dipping sides in a large, and they have their chips in a large bag as well now. So you get like a large guac or large chips if you wanted to. So that's cool. Important aside there. I'm trying to think anything else that happened my week. We played a Destiny raid and it was just catastrophically depressing. That's an overstatement, but there is a like 15 hours of video content on YouTube to encapsulate all of the trials, emotional and otherwise, for our Destiny raid. We did not finish. It's heartbreaking. Still.
Rough. Tony doing it with you?
Yeah, Tony was in that. I think Tony is gone and finished it with Griffin at this point.
You got impatient.
I was astonished that he had not touched the raid at all when we started it on Sunday, though. So I'm impressed with Tony. He gets cookie points for that. But yeah, we'll talk about that in games because that's a thing that happens. And play my 3DS a lot. There's very important video games on it. Video game
Gold.
singular. Pokemon Gold. Is Pokemon Crystal out
No.
on that?
No.
Bullshit. It's garbage, Novice. Throw it all away.
I never played Crystal, but
Email Reggie Fils-Aimé and tell him it's bullshit. I like Crystal. That was my version of those games, so.
yeah, I bet it's the better one, I would think.
Yeah, I was the third brother, so I got all the cool versions of Pokemon games. Up to a point, up to Crystal. Nah, I didn't get like Emerald or anything after that. But, you guys want to start you guys been watching anything good?
Watched The Shining for the first time yesterday.
Oh shit! What'd you think?
That movie's real fucking good. That's like a masterpiece, and like, in the
I've
way,
only seen half of it, and I liked it quite a bit.
yeah, like it's really good because of like I think about like how horror movies are like now, and just like everything is just like constant jump scares and shit. And like jump scares for like no reason too. Like they just turn the camera and it's like were you some scary thing? No, just some woman just giving you like a nice water or something like that. It's like because the music just went like super high for a second. That's supposed to give you a good jump scare. But But yeah, like like it's creepy and it's like there's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense in it, but like it's interesting all at the same time. It makes you question a lot of stuff. I've been seeing a movie like that in like a good while, like in a good way, like other than like Get Out, obviously, but like yeah, it was really good. Like, it was a really good thriller. It's not even like really a horror movie. It's like a thriller, and like I really enjoyed it for what that was. Yeah, I dig that. I haven't seen it yet, but heard it was good. But I don't know.
I kind of want to see it because, like, I don't like horror movies at all.
Right.
But like, I've had so many folks compare it to the Goonies, especially like this remake, not necessarily the original, but this remake. And like the central focus is around like the kids and like their bonding and kind of them overcoming this horrible thing.
You ever watch Stranger Things? I haven't watched that. That's
I have.
a comparison.
God, I love Stranger Things. You would like it, I think.
Yeah, I think I would too. I just never got around to it.
Stranger Things season 2 starts next month, or is happening next month. I'm so fucking excited. Oh, it's so good. That's like a really good. If it is like Stranger Things, then I would want to see it. I've heard that comparison directly too. Because Stranger Things has like a little bit of Goonies in it, a little bit of like 80s nostalgia in it, but like also it is its own thing,
right?
And it does its own thing really, really, really well. Like, like it starts with these 4 kids like sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons together, like 2nd edition. It's like, it's super cool. And the way they use that reference to D&D as like a point of comparison for like the antagonist of the show is really rad. So yeah, it's very good. Movies with Mikey Newman actually did a episode about Stranger Things pretty recently, and that's it's very good. You shouldn't watch because it's spoilers, but it's very good. He did one about Logan though that you should watch. I don't know if you've ever watched Movies with Mikey. It's a video essay series about movies. The chief inspiration for Bear Courtney's
B-list?
The B-list.
Oh, okay.
You can totally see like what kind of aspects of inspiration Barry got for that too. Very, very, very good. Mikey Newman, who used to work at Gearbox, and yeah, it's very good. You should check it out. I think you would dig it as far as like the formatting and whatnot.
Okay. But other than that though, like nothing else really. I don't think. Like, at least I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Yeah, like this week has just been nothing but like Dragon Ball Super and SteamWorld Dig 2, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and Destiny 2. A lot of Destiny 2. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much been my week. As far as what I was watching, I should say. Oh, quick shout out, the Souls retrospective is out. I like that too.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I haven't watched it yet. Is it just
which thing now?
The Souls retrospective. So the Easy Allies do like retrospectives about the history of franchises. So they're doing one on the Dark Souls and Bloodborne series.
The first one is talked about Demon Souls. So.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Are they going to come out close together or?
I believe so. I don't know exactly when the Dark Souls 1 retrospective is. It's going to come out, but like I heard it was soon.
Okay, because I know like Deus Ex was 1 week and then the next. So that was very good as well. So yeah, man, I'm excited to watch it. I might actually watch that after this podcast. I have to remind myself. You watch anything good, Scott?
Yeah, this week, yeah, I guess so. I do have a few good things.
Oh my god!
Cool. Well, first and foremost, some new Adventure Time.
Okay.
Fuck. Thank you for letting me know.
It wasn't this week. It wasn't last week either. It was kind of a bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so I found this out recently. It's
okay.
Cartoon Network's doing some of their shows pretty dirty.
Ooh.
And it's the better ones too. Yeah, so what ended up
doing
happening
dirty.
is they didn't advertise that they were going to be dropping the cartoons at all.
Sounds like Yu Yu Hakusho all over again.
They just dropped 4 episodes off one weekend, and
Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't seen them. I just checked, so yeah, I'll have to look at that later.
They just dropped them,
Mm.
and like I didn't know about it until fucking I uh I I checked to see what was up about it.
Mm.
Other than that,
Hmm.
those 4 episodes are pretty good, by the way.
Good.
Uh, Other than that, we got some Rick and Morty, which
Oh
is
yeah,
great.
that's still going. Is that
That's
season
season.
over yet?
Nope,
Okay.
season 3.
Mhm.
So we're to let you know, because now that we have it and it's out for Rick and Morty, I'm not sure how this fits into the rule of 3, but the first season counts as the bad one.
Okay. The
Uh, God, what was that? My stupid thing. I'm trying to remember my stupid rules. I have to remember. I have to remember. Just give me a second. But
take your
continue.
time. Continue, Scott.
Yeah, and then mm, new Gangbang series,
The
the
Mario
No
3
Country
challenge.
Challenge.
Yeah, I started watching that
Yep,
last night.
that's a nice change of pace
It is.
to see Aaron trying for once.
Yeah, it's like a very different kind of like anxiety when you're watching that too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. I was into it. Anything else good?
Of note, I believe that's it.
Okay. Um, Watching the movies with Mikey. Want to give another shout out to that. Um, but I'm trying to think. I feel like I've like burned through some good YouTube stuff. God, I'm sorry, my like throat is like clogged up.
Mm.
Just getting the sickness again.
Wow.
Ooh it's my lounge singing "Down with the Sickness" Richard Cheese cover. I like Monster Factory is still good. Game Grumps is still good, and Movies with Mikey is very good. I haven't brought that up on the show before, but just to throw those 3 things out there. TV
Mm-hmm.
wise, I haven't really watched anything. Although I've been hearing that good buzz about American Vandal,
I was just about to ask you about that.
um, which is still like my roommate's watching, and then like specifically last night, everyone was tweeting about it. Like everyone that I follow, like Joey, Danny, Barrett. I don't know, like in Blessing also.
Okay.
Like I don't know what like came over the internet, but it happens. So I might add that to my list to try and watch. I haven't really sat down and watched any TV except for My Hero Academia.
That season just ended for Japan. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm still like a little bit behind, so I'm
Mhm.
probably gonna try and catch up this weekend.
I actually haven't watched it in a few weeks, but I've been reading them. Reading them's been
Yeah,
mind-blowing.
Like, you're more
Yes.
than caught up, so
Yeah. So.
you're fine.
You know what I've been talking about yet
Um,
from the last argument that we had.
this is directed at you, Nabishan, not me.
I don't even remember what.
Remember when we were
It's the
talking about
Bakugo
like
argument.
Bakugo being like a foil, and Scott was like, I don't think he's a foil.
I said
There is a foil character. It's not him.
okay. But yeah, like I never had a problem with Bakugo.
And no,
Yeah,
it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't any of us.
Okay. I was like, where did
It
this
was
come
Ian Preschel, somewhere out there being a dick. Yeah, I should catch up with that. I think that's it. Like, I don't think I have anything particularly new to bring to it. Hopefully, maybe
I
I'll
bring that up more or less to just remind you.
Okay.
There you go. Let's. Do you guys want to get into the real show? Get this party started, as the kids say. All right, I'm gonna go pee real quick, and then if you guys want to get Audacity and stuff ready. Be right back.
Oh refresh me, Scott. Where are we on Adventure Time? It's been like a month or two since the last time I watched it. Not the newest 4 at ones, but the ones before that.
You did watch those ones?
Yeah, like I think what was it?
Let's see. The very
Tweepy
last
or something like that. I can't remember his name. The Lich Boy. That's the last thing I remember.
Oh, that's the last thing you remember? I think you're missing 8 episodes then.
Because like what was it? Like
Because
Fern. I remember Fern dying, right?
okay, yeah, that's the last thing that happened.
Okay, yeah, I'm right now.
Fern being dead is the last thing that happened.
All right.
And yeah, that's not exactly the same Sweet Pea, but that's the same arc.
Right.
Episode before.
Okay. All right, cool.
I thought that was a good way to handle him too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I already excited.
So I think they're wrapping everything up fairly nicely. Because so far, of the things that we see, the hand in this world has been dealt with.
Okay.
Sweet Pea turning has been dealt with.
Yeah.
The Fern has been dealt with.
Wasn't he alluded to returning?
Perhaps.
Okay.
But so far, he counts to have been dealt with.
Right.
So he might return, but even if he does, it'll probably be short-lived. For all counts and purposes, if he doesn't return, he can be considered having been dealt with.
What about isn't there like a witch or something that still need to be dealt with?
Are you talking about Betty?
Not Betty. It's when Rupert guy died before he came back. There was like something with some witch. I can't remember exactly. It was so long ago.
I'm pretty sure that was
Just a one-off.
not so much just a one-off, but I'm pretty sure that's a reoccurring problem that's not part of the overarching.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And then through all the old loose ends and everything, they're all essentially tied up at this point.
I think you're right. I can't really think of like a loose end per se that's like left. At least off the top of my head, at least.
So all they have to do right now is deliver a satisfying ending arc.
Hopefully they'll land that.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, fuck, if Core could do it, I think Adventure Time can do it, so it should be fine.
And right now I'm torn. I'm not sure if I want I want one of the two kinds of endings. The first one being what most everything does, but would make complete sense for Adventure Time and the adventure continues ending.
Mm-hmm. What about the movie though? Is that tied into this?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because, as you know, all the games and everything else is non-canon.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be a zero cliffhanger flat ending.
For the love of fucking God, like, do not give us a cliffhanger. Like, so much of my childhood's been ruined. Like, Kaylee's in the chat, she knows what I'm talking about. Like, fucking Teen Titans and Reboot.
Mm-hmm.
I do not need a fucking cliffhanger.
We don't need a cliffhanger. We need
Jesus
like an
Christ.
ending that is an adventure continues. or because like you know what I'm talking about with an adventure continues ending.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
'Cause, like there's a big difference between that, a cliffhanger, and then of course the oh no, it definitely ends right now.
Yeah. um, I pray. I just pray. Please do not fuck me over on this.
Right?
Having good endings is nice. Like, it's not that hard. Cora did it. You could do Adventure Time. My God, please. Like, now I'm all caught up on this. Now I'm stressing about this. I really hope they don't screw me over on this.
I know, right?
So like Adventure Time was like that's like the latest thing I really got into as far as like a new like thing. Like probably Rick and Morty would be my next thing, but like God, I hope they just ended good at least. Give it to
Oh
me.
yeah, and for Rick and Morty, season 3 turned it up to 11.
I've heard I'm supposed to get in with that with my friend Tony, so yeah, he's supposed to get me into that. So I'm excited to do that.
Let me know, Namishin. I'm curious about your take on that show.
Sure.
God, my throat is all.
Just gotta get Alex into Adventure Time.
Oh my God, Scott, did you see that clip? Oh, probably not. Hold on, I'm gonna give you.
For what?
For Teen Titans Go. Hold on, because it's exactly what we're talking about, but and they mocked us for it in that fucking show. Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, because that wasn't that the bigger stink about Teen Titans Go.
What?
It's the original Teen Titans ended up getting canceled for some reason or another, and it did not deliver a proper ending whatsoever.
It ended with them seeing Terra again, the earthquake girl, and she doesn't have any memory whatsoever, and like Beast Boy just pretty much runs off into the sunset, and they just ended like on that cliffhanger. It was real bad. I'll send it to you later, Scott. But yeah,
All right.
it's a thing.
Y'all ready for this? You guys ready to start recording?
Yeah,
Yep.
whenever.
Cool. On 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Uh-huh.
I should tweet this.
I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick.
Okay. I'll save the tweet.
I'm gonna get some water. Okay.
It's just me now, guys. You and me, alone, in a Google Hangout, YouTube live stream. Do 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 do. I don't know what that music was, but that's our theme song now, viewers. You and me. You plural and me singular. For you.
Thank you, Kaylee, by the way.
I am back. If I didn't
Hey, welcome
say it
back.
already.
Let's. Oh, you found it.
Yeah. Kaylee sent it to me.
I want to watch this real quick, just
You do that.
to bring myself back down. Oh no.
It's in the chat, Scott.
Oh my god.
The fucking audacity.
That's really funny though.
Sir! Sir!
It hurts, but it's really funny though. It's like a bit to make like about it. That's a good bit. All right. Let's get this party started.
I don't know. I think that's funny.
Like I said, I think it's funny. It's just it hurts. It hurts so much.
It does. But even I can admit it's a pretty good joke.
Yeah. No, but it's just sitting over here like, well, I didn't think it was a good joke. Okay. It is Sunday, September 24th, 2017, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week is Scott Guthier,
Hello.
Brian Nobishin Jackson.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Wendy, darling, light of my life. I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. That's it.
Is that a Shining reference?
That's actually is The Shining.
There you go.
What up,
that's
Nicole?
It. What up, Nicole? Shout out to Nicole. Is she the one that got you to watch that?
Yeah.
Rad. Shout out to lovely listener Nicole out there. And her terrible Twitter handle. Just throwing it out there. That's it. It's just the three of us. There's no Tony Horvath here this week. This is Irrational Passions Podcast, a podcast about video games on occasion sometimes, where we talk about weird, dumb, silly stuff in the bonus content. Sometimes we talk about video games in the bonus content as well, because we can't help ourselves. This is gonna be a good episode. So we're recording on Sunday for listeners at home. We are going to start recording on Friday evenings again. First time in like 2.5 years, or however long it's been. Coming this Friday. So this is gonna be weird because we're gonna be recording Sunday and then Friday. So they're gonna be very close together episodes of the podcast. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be very, very good. We have a good show. We're going to talk about some games, some TGS news. Maybe I don't think we got any questions this week, but that's okay. We're just going to hang out and have a good time.
I think
hopefully.
Silver had a voicemail from
We have a
last week.
voicemail, yeah, from last week. I think that's all I got off the top of my dome. Fresh off my dome, if I may. No, I should. Let's kick things off with a little bit of housekeeping. If you haven't heard, the word on the street is Farm to Tower is the hottest new Destiny video games podcast in the world. And
Over the Beastcast?
Over the Beastcast.
What?
Is the Beastcast deteriorated into a Destiny podcast? Because that sounds actually pretty great.
No, he said the best podcast in the world. So.
Oh, true. The best Destiny podcast in the world. How about that? I will not try and take the Beastcast crown. But if you haven't listened, if I'm not a lazy piece of garbage this coming week, I'm gonna try and put out like a website post on irrationalpassions.com, kind of summarizing the episode. We just recorded episode 2 of Farm to Tower, the presented by Irrational Passions multi-corporation based Destiny 2 podcast. It's myself, Alex Van Aken, Nato Johnston, and Cameron Abbott. We joked, we had a fun joke about it, of like, this is a podcast hosted by the hosts of a bunch of other podcasts. And we had a good time. No Griffin that week because he was off for his sister's birthday, but it's all right. We missed him. We talked about the raid, the Leviathan raid, which I will be talking about in a little bit in video games. Talked about it a little bit last week in my insertion into Nobshin's one-man show, which you should check out if you haven't already. On the website, irrationalpassions.com, new episode of Inputs, as per usual. This one is titled Input YouTube Demonizing the LGBTQIA. Is there an I in there now?
Yeah, that's new to me.
Yeah, that's new to me. Contents, Star Citizen, and the Netflix for indie games. And Logan actually wrote a piece that went up today on Sunday. I thought it'd be a good like Sunday afternoon piece on Rocket League. Now, if you remember Logan's piece on the Oregon Trail, which was more of like a thematic story narrative piece where he told a story through the game and through his story in the game, which I'm really into because I'm all about that. Like, your playthrough of the game is your personal experience, is your narrative type thing. Logan did a similar thing with Rocket League. It's impassioned, it's beautiful. There are ups, there is moments of tensions, there's clench and release. It's very, very, very good.
Is it just one match he's writing about, or
it is just one match?
Okay.
But like there's like a narrative to it, and there's like you learn a little bit about Logan as a person as you go through it as well. It's very good. If you have any like love for Rocket League at all, I would recommend reading it. And if you like just stories about someone who like really likes a video game, you should read it. And I think that's the main stuff that's up. Farm to Tower is up. YouTube.com/IrrationalPassions. Speaking of the raid of Destiny 2, the Leviathan raid, there's video of us playing it. We streamed it over on twitch.tv/IrrationalPassions for 12 hours straight. If you missed that, it's all archived on YouTube. And I'll try and like create a playlist for that. I should just create a playlist for our archived Destiny streams or our Destiny raid streams, just specifically at this point. So go check that out. That was a lot of fun. There were ups and downs emotionally, but I don't regret it. I'll say that. I think
did
that's
Trevor
it.
regret?
Trevor, I think, regretted it a little bit.
Okay.
And we can maybe peel back the layer on that a little bit. He wrote, Trevor Starkey, who participated in the raid with us, he wrote a thing about the raid on trevortrove.com. He actually did a video as well. He was far more frustrated. Let's use that word. But nothing but love for him. That's let's talk about video games. Scott, what's up? You been playing anything good?
Yep.
Okay.
There's a new Stellaris DLC,
Mm-hmm.
so we hop back into that.
Okay.
We are all machines now.
Okay.
They came out with a new DLC pack. It's called what is it called? Sentient AI Story Pack? Something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And we all made organic destroying machine sims. Very specifically.
Okay. That's pretty good, actually. I feel like if I could live out like a galaxy dominating scenario, I would probably want to go for like the Skynet.
Right.
All organic life must die. Like
Yeah, so what happens when you meet a new civ is it says target acquired, closing comms.
okay. Got it. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna kill this guy, and we're not gonna talk about it anymore. I you're that's see, like, I wouldn't have the balls to do this in Stellaris or any like 4X game like this. I'm just living vicariously through you, Scott.
Um, the difference here is that there is no real diplomatic option to victory
Okay, for the machine
Stellaris.
race.
In Stellaris
Okay,
in general.
okay,
The only way that you can get quote unquote a diplomatic victory is if you form a federation,
mm-hmm.
and you're just kind of stay out of the federation's affairs, and the federation ends up winning. Because what ends up happening is if you if you want to win, you essentially have to control a certain percent of the galaxy, or be the last civ standing.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that one of those two options can really happen is if the end game crisis takes everyone else out, which 9 times out of 10 that just doesn't happen, because of another problem, which probably means if you, which let me restart. End game crisis generally doesn't take other people out because a fallen empire, which if it doesn't kill you first, will most certainly take care of the end game crisis for you,
Okay.
and or B, 9 times out of 10, the endgame crisis will not leave you to be the last person standing.
Yeah.
Everyone else will outlast you.
So why not just like dominate everyone and kill all organic life? Is what you're saying?
Like there is no win condition for like traditions, diplomacy, anything like that.
Okay.
The best you can do is keep adding people to a federation, and like that gets progressively harder and harder and harder, especially dealing with AI, because you have to get the other AI to vote yes to accept other people into the federation, if the person you're inviting wants to be in the first place.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. Um. So as your sentient robot masters, um, but what do you guys do? You just killing everybody, Scott?
Basically, it's as robots we have no happiness, so it's general civs have a happiness stat, and they from 0 to 100. Generally, everyone starts out at 50. You have to in game you have to play a certain way to make your civs happy, so they are more productive. For this, you have 100% happiness, but civs do not grow; they have to be bought because you have to build them, the machines.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is you cannot have cyborgs or any other civs on a planet. So when you take a planet, you are locked out of that planet for about 16 in-game years, or about, I want to say that's about 30 minutes to an hour in real life
Okay.
for that long. So you are locked out of having that planet being useful for you for that amount of time, instead of being able to just have armies to take care of the unrest and have that planet be immediately usable.
Okay.
The other thing is, the benefits to it is you are kind of that much stronger in terms of being able to fight other people. Your leaders do not die because they are machines. So what ends up
I kind of
happening
like
is,
this.
so what ends up happening in a normal game is you have to keep cycling through leaders, and your technology gets slow. Your admirals, you have a strong and weak phase of your fleet because your admirals come and go as strength. But as a machine AI, you just keep. You could have one set of leaders for the entire game, but what you do is you check the leader tab every so often to get new leaders, and you min max the traits in the leaders, so you have the options of having the best leader for the situation you have.
Mm-hmm. And then this, you just have the same leader.
Well, no. In the other things, you don't have that option because leaders die.
Okay. 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 That's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
leaders get old and die.
I like the
That's
idea of like having like specific leadership and that changing too, though.
mhm. It's incredibly useful.
Yeah. Um. So is this another multiplayer game you're playing with your boys?
Yeah, we
Okay.
got a 5 people in this game. We just took out an unawakened fallen empire, which was needed to happen
Yeah.
because we thought we could. We went to war with them twice. The first time we thought we could take them, we each had like 20, 30K fleets, and we're like, yeah, we got this. We go to war, and the first thing we see jump into Tony's system is a 150K fleet. For
Nice.
reference, we had a grand total of 100. So immediately, immediately, we just had him humiliate Tony and went for peace. Like immediately, we were like, oh shit.
I
So
like that.
for good 10 years of in-game time, 20 minutes, we were biting our nails, hoping that he would not awaken.
Okay.
Because what happens when they awaken is that 150 turns into a 300 strength,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes berserk and starts killing everyone.
Yeah. Is that like so?
And he's right smack dab in the middle of all of us.
Is
So like,
that
there's no AI alternative.
if that fallen empire like ends up awakening, does that immediately become the end game crisis, or is that just like a mid game crisis?
No, that's just something that happens.
Okay. Great.
So what
Um.
ends? Okay, so how the AI, the Fallen Empire, and the work with the Endgame Crisis is first they will awaken
Okay.
and they'll go berserk.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when the Endgame Crisis happens, one of the Fallen Empires has a chance to either awaken and become the Grand Protector of the galaxy. Sorry, any of the Fallen Empires, any of the empires of those types have a chance to become the protector of the galaxy, unawakened or not.
Uh huh.
So there, since we're playing with 4 of them in the game, uh, it could be any of the 4. So the chances of it being that one, very unlikely.
Okay. Huh. I like the more like we get into these deep Stellaris talks, like the more I'm like the closer I am getting to playing it. So.
Yeah, it's if you like Civ,
Mm-hmm.
you'll like this game a little more, I think,
Okay.
because with Civ, the biggest pro to Civ is also its biggest con.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest pro to Civ is that it's turn-based; you can take your time with it.
Mm-hmm.
Its biggest con is this turn-based system causes it to take easily 5 times the amount of time it should take to complete the game. The Civ games are comparably half the size, half the length of a Stellaris game, but they end up taking about the same amount of time because of how Civ plays out versus how Stellaris plays out.
Okay. So there's no
Because
like turns in Stellaris. It's all just real time.
it's all real time.
Okay. Huh. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Right. So we played we had a good 5-hour session the other night. And like in that session, in a game of Civ, if you were in a single player game, blazing through the turns as fast as you could, you'd pretty much be done.
Okay.
In a multiplayer game, you would be about a fourth of the way finished, just because of how long you're waiting for other people to take their turns. And for comparison, we hit the halfway mark on Stellaris.
Okay. Damn. Yeah, that whole the whole like especially multiplayer waiting for other fucking people to finish their shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
What's this DLC called? The AI DLC.
I'm gonna pull up all of them.
So I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, because I think it's on sale right now.
It is. Thus my
Ooh.
questions.
Ooh.
Excited.
Yeah, because Stellaris is $15.99 right now, so just the game by itself.
Yeah. Might be a bit before we get you into a multiplayer game.
Oh yeah, no, I'd want to play it by myself first.
It would help if we dropped into a smaller double game,
Mm-hmm.
so I could essentially be your buffer as you learn how to play.
Is it the Synthetic Dawn story pack?
Yes, there we go. Synthetic Dawn.
Okay.
Apparently, there's a story pack assigned to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the few important ones are the. Actually, I guess they're all kind of important.
Yeah, there's a lot of DLC for this game.
Yeah.
Nova Edition upgrade pack, Infinite
Okay, well-
Frontiers ebook. You know, I love me some good ebooks.
Okay, so the Leviathans aren't the. Okay, so some of these DLC have some of the other content packaged in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out which one.
Because there's a version of the game that's just Stellaris Galaxy Edition. I wonder if that just like includes everything.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll do some off mic research. Let's not like just look at a store Steam page. During
Yeah.
Anything else you've been playing, Scott?
I feel like there was another game.
Black Desert Online.
Black Desert Online?
Well, yeah, of course, but I'm not Tony.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, there was one other game that I'm blanking on. Oh well.
Okay. I played some video games.
Tell me about it.
So guys, there's a new Metroid game. It's not really a new. It's really good. So part of me is just fucking angry because it's like so good. It's like, oh, so you could have just made one the whole time. There was no like, oh, I don't know if we'll be able to do it and it'll be good. It's like, no, this is great. This is like honestly amazing. So it's just like, oh, I just like waited 7 years for fucking shits and giggles, I guess. So yeah,
Alright.
Metroid Samus Returns out on 3DS. I was very worried about it because like the main developer is like the guys that made that 3DS Castlevania game that was like reportedly terrible and like ran really poorly and whatnot.
Mercury Steam.
Yeah, Mercury Steam. This is like has none of the same issues as that as far as I know.
Oh yeah, Nintendo wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, exactly. Like Nintendo, especially like I understand like Metroid and like they fucking put out Metroid Prime Federation Force or whatever, but I still think like with an actual Samus Metroid game,
Well, doesn't that at least run fine?
I think so. I was also a little worried because I don't have a new 3DS, but like totally runs fine. Like runs at 60 frames per second, looks great.
Do you have
Metroid-
3D as an option on your old
Yeah.
3DS? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And I actually threw it in 3D. I'm like, oh, this looks fucking fantastic. Like, I was very surprised. It's one up on that goddamn Pokemon bullshit. Tell you what. But yeah, Metroid Samus Returns came out. I got it digitally. It's just very good. You know, it's exactly the Metroid game.
Hold on. Isn't that Metroid 2?
So Metroid 2 is Metroid 2 : Return of Samus.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a remake of Metroid 2. But they very much gave it like the Metroid Zero Mission treatment, where it's like basically completely new.
Like, what would you call it? Director's cut version, essentially.
Kinda, yeah. Like it's like
it would more of that line. With
Yeah,
an
like-
HD remake attached to it.
yeah. This is more of like if this game was made for the first time today as like a modern video game, this is what it is. But it doesn't take away any of the parts about Metroid 2 that were pretty cool. Not that there were like Metroid 2 is a weird game, and I've been like writing a lot about this because I've never really written about Metroid 2. I've only ever played it once, and it's like it's okay, you know, it's not amazing, but it has like a lot of really cool ideas. Like, for example, like the whole crux of Metroid 2 is that you have to kill 39 Metroids, right? Or technically 40, but you don't know it's 40 until the end. It's a big twist. Blah blah blah. Spoilers. If you've played Super Metroid, Metroid 2 has been spoiled for you. I'm sorry. Where it's like, oh, the 40th Metroid was the baby Metroid, and then you take it, and that's what Metroid 3 is about. So like the whole that's like the whole crux of it. But because it's not explore this planet, it's like go here and kill all these things. Like it's commit genocide or whatever you want to say. Like it's formatted differently because you're like exploring the world for the purpose of hunting down these things like a real fucking bounty hunter, versus like exploring the world in order to get to the next boss fight or whatever. So the areas are a bit more open. It's a bit more loosey-goosey with how you go about things. Like you can do things a little bit out of order and whatnot. And like you're usually like going as far as you can, hunting as many Metroids as you can until you hit an obstacle where you're like, well, I don't know how to get past this because I don't have that power. And then you explore more until you find that power and kind of like go from there. The classic Metroid shit of like come back when you have more abilities and whatnot. But because like you have so many objectives spaced throughout the whole area, it's a little bit more fast and loose with how you can go about things, which I think is really cool. Metroid 2 is also the only 2D Metroid game with the spider ball, which the only other Metroid games it's in is Metroid Prime. Essentially, in Metroid Prime, what that does is it allows you to, in morph ball form, like crawl along these rails, like these metallic rails.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
But in Metroid 2, because it's a 2D Metroid, it just like in morph ball form, you can stick to walls and like crawl up any wall, which makes like traversal in a Metroid game way, way, way different. And no other 2D Metroid game has had that. So like seeing that come back and like be evolved on and expanded upon in Samus Returns is really, really cool. And the way they kind of like set obstacles for you with like, because you could just like, oh, I don't know how to get up from here. Let me just stick to the wall and go up. And like then you're on the ceiling of these big cavernous rooms, and you're like open up to new areas. So it's really cool. It's a really cool ability. And like again, Metroid 2 is the only 2D Metroid game that has ever had it. So like again, seeing that reintroduced into Samus Returns and like seeing it kind of fresh and new again is really rad. So it's like all the cool parts about Metroid 2 are in Samus Returns again and better, with like new stuff. Like they added the grapple beam to Samus Returns, and it actually like works super well, where it, like I don't think it worked super well in Super Metroid, which is the only other 2D Metroid game with it, I think. So and it looks so good. It's a 2D Metroid with 3D graphics. Like it's exactly the 3DS Metroid game that I've wanted them to make since the 3DS came out in 2011. Like, hey, come on guys, what are we waiting for? And then they went and made it, and it's great. So I guess it was worth the wait. I don't know. I'm just salty about it. But yeah, it's very good. They added like a little bit of light story to it, but they didn't. It was just like basically a premise versus Metroid 2, which just starts and you're like, all right, I guess I'm killing things now. So that's cool. Like it's like, oh, like we sent Federation soldiers to the Metroid planet to find out more about them, and then they all died. So Samus, we're gonna have you kill them all, and like that's the story. So like you get to the planet, there's no dialogue, there's no cutscenes or anything. It's still like all the best things about Metroid. Like you're isolated, you feel alone, you feel that isolation, but Samus, because of how fucking badass she is, never feels feeble because of that. She just feels like, all right, let me fuck some shit up. And that's just, again, the best parts about Samus that Metroid Other M didn't get at all. So
like I've never really played the Metroid games. Like, how are there really even cutscenes in those games at all? Like in general,
not really. No. Like in Metroid Prime, there are, especially like Prime 3. But like in this and because in like all the other 2D Metroids, because they're like just 2D graphics, it's usually like the game pauses for a minute while boss crashes in through a wall, and that's the only cutscene, right?
Right.
And it's basically the same thing for this, where like sometimes it'll like take the camera away from you and like be all like this cinematic, like Metroid swoops in and it's like, oh, battle starts, and that's it.
Doesn't Zero Mission have like chats, like dialogue?
Fusion does. Metroid Fusion.
Oh, Fusion.
Does.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, we're so like there are two characters in Metroid Fusion. There's Adam, who's like your computer's AI that Samus has conversations with. It's funny though because not until up until the plot twist of that game, Samus doesn't actually talk at all. So like when she first talks in Metroid Fusion, it's a really great moment.
Okay.
Again, totally ruined in Metroid Other M, but but like not totally ruined, just like a little of that impact was taken away because like that Fusion was the first game where Samus talked and she's like as stern and to the point and direct and like assertive as you would want her to be as someone who is like literally gone to planets by herself and murdered everything that got in her way because she's a total badass. Like, so like, yeah, they've done stuff with dialogue in the Metroid series that has been really cool. Metroid 2 didn't do any of that necessarily, so most of what it is in this Samus Returns is like just cinematic enemy entrances and like seeing bits of the world and whatnot. So yeah, like it's true to form. It's exactly what you would want a 2D Metroid to be, and better because like there's surprises in there. There's new abilities and mechanics. The way like you can switch through certain abilities with the touchscreen. Another weird thing about Metroid 2 is like it would often have you go back to areas and get other beams. Like for the most part, you use the ice beam in Metroid 2 because that's what the Metroids are weak to, and they didn't necessarily stack in the same way that they do in like Zero Mission and Fusion and whatnot. But you'd have to like swap a beam out for a different beam, and you'd have to like go back to where you originally got that ability or to one of the spots where you can get that ability and swap it out. But now you can just do that on the touchscreen in Samus Returns. So it's like a little bit better. There are checkpoints, right? If you die in a boss fight, it'll just like let you retry the boss. It's still very hard though, which is good. Like most of the 2D Metroids are pretty tough games, so it's good to see that that's still there. It's just very good, guys. Like I'm very happy about it. They made a really great 2D Metroid game, and now no one can say that they can't do it. And like I get this, which is like a really cool remake of a game that I feel like not a lot of people get to talk about, which is Metroid 2. And it has all the great aspects of that, and it's better on top of that. And then Metroid Prime 4 is coming down the line as well, so like I'm just in Metroid heaven right now. It's pretty good.
I think the best thing about Metroid Samus Returns is just the fact that like this is something like a remake should be, like something that's like completely not necessarily inaccessible, but like something that was for the time, even at its time, wasn't the greatest, and like just making it in a new way and just retelling that story in a new, flashier, somewhat better way. I don't mean like something like Metal Gear Twin Snakes or something like that, but I mean like, you know, like
just like
Yakuza Kiwami, I guess.
like something that is like a little bit more mechanically sound without compromising on what made the original great. Like maybe with some extra stuff that just for the fans and also for new people to understand it better. For sure. And like Metroid Zero Mission is like one of the best remakes that is out there in general, I think. Because it's a remake of the original Metroid, but it's like it's got this whole extra part at the end where you run around as Zero Suit Samus and then like go back and get new powers like the gravity suit, and like you fight a new final boss and you go through like this whole space pirate area, and it like adds a little bit of the context to what the space pirates are doing on Zebes and stuff. And like that's already like very, very good. And this is basically Zero Mission 2, right? Like where it's like does that same really, really good treatment where it adds new areas, adds new powers to kind of augment those areas, and from what I understand, there might be like extra stuff at the end as well. So like, it's like Metroid has a good lineage of doing really good remakes. They've only done the one and now two, but they're both like up to this supreme quality that I don't think a lot of remakes get. I mean, not that there are a lot of video game remakes just in general, but like I would compare it to like the best of the best in video game remakes, like the GameCube Resident Evil or something like that. Like it is, there's so much love and care in this, and it plays super super well. What's cool is like this is the first 2D Metroid game with any kind of analog movement. So like in previous 2D Metroids, you'd be back and forth at all D-pad, and you could hold the L button to like aim up or down diagonally to shoot up or down diagonally. In this, you hold L and like Samus locks her feet in place, and you can like aim the analog stick around in full 360-degree motion because it's on an analog instead of on a D-pad, which doesn't seem like it'd be a big difference, but is actually a really big difference. Kind of like Flint Hook, for your reference, Scott. Like it's that same concept of lock your feet, plant your feet, and then aim around.
Is D-pad an option?
No.
Okay.
And it like I was worried about that because I was like, I don't know, because you use the D-pad for like switching certain abilities.
Right.
But it's fine. It's totally great. What's weird for me is like pressing down on the circle pad to go into Morph Ball is weird. I'm so used to hitting a D-pad and going down on that, but that's all. And like there's like this whole combat thing where Samus has like a melee counter, like Dark Souls style, and she can like throw her arm up and counter when enemies attack, and then do like a super powerful hit to them. Which I was worried because early on you're like, oh, I could just do this all day and it's super broken, and then you start fighting the Metroids and you're like, oh fuck, this is really hard and the timing is different all the time. So it's actually really good. So it's really good, guys. I'm just happy. I'm glad that they made this. I was like super concerned that it would like have a shitty frame rate or just like not look very good or like not be very good, but none of those things. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. One of my favorite games this year for sure. It's just stellar. Super, super, super good. Thank you, Nintendo. But come on, like you don't have to wait 7 years to put one of these out. That's all I'm saying.
How do you think this will do?
I don't think it's going to do super well. I don't think it needs to because they already have like Metroid Prime 4 coming to Switch, and I think that's going to do great. I don't think like Metroid Samus Returns is going to be a failure because 3DS has like a massive install base, but I don't see it like being like in the top charts for September or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think it'll be like a quiet, made a little bit of money and then like that's all. Because like Metroid already isn't like the biggest grossing franchise, and this is like a 3DS game in a year where like Switch is the hot new craze. So this one's for the fans, right?
Right.
And like Metroid Prime 4 is for everyone, and I think that's gonna do gangbusters, honestly. So, because now is the time. It's a good reinforcement to the people that really care about Metroid because like they felt super burned, myself included, about Federation Force, and this is like just reiterating like, hey, we know what we're doing, like we can make a really good one of these games and not compromise on anything that made it special. So I am thinking a lot about Metroid Other M playing this though, not just because that was the last Metroid game, but one of the coolest things about Other M is it brings back all the biggest, most like recognizable or mechanically interesting boss fights from previous Metroid games. So there's like this ghost fight from Super Metroid in there, the Metroid Queen, which is the final boss of Metroid 2. You fight one in Other M, which is actually a really cool fight, because like you unlock a power right at the end, and it's like a big deal. And there's like Nightmare, which is one of the cool fights from Metroid Fusion, is in there. So there are cool parts about Metroid Other M.
Is Other M just like because I actually I never played Other M, so like is it like I'm not trying to say greatest hits, but like is it like something like Samus just like reminiscing everything, or is like is this like is it like a nostalgic type of thing? Like,
they're kind of like more like Easter eggs. Like the Nightmare fight is the Nightmare and the Ghost fight are actually like optional boss fights in Other M. But like I think it was because like none of those bosses had ever been seen in a 3D Metroid game is why they're in Other M at the end of it. But it's not like a thing where it's like all in her head or anything.
Okay.
It is like one cohesive narrative on like a spaceship, like a like a space station. But they just did those kind of things, I think, just for like the nostalgia factor. But I think they did them actually super well. It didn't feel like cheap. I'll say, but there are just other things about Metroid Other M that feel cheap. But you know, like Other M fucks up because it's got like really weird bad controls. Because you play it with just the Wii remote on the side, and then you point the Wii remote at the TV screen to go into a first-person mode and shoot missiles. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah, I did. Like that was like the thing, and like I don't know, like
you can't hold the Wii remote in a comfortable position.
Yeah,
because if you do, you're going into first-person mode.
Yeah, it's never comfortable, and like it's a 3D Metroid. There are parts of it that are locked to 2D, but you're playing all of it on a D-pad. And it's weird. So you never quite get comfortable with it. And also, like it fucks up the narrative part of it. Like it tries to characterize Samus as someone who's like feeble at times, and it's like that you can have a multi-layered, like different female character. Like I think like that's totally fine, but like this is not the character that has been characterized up to that point. And Other M fits in after Super Metroid and before Metroid Fusion, right? Narratively, and if you think about
it's if this was the first, if this was a prequel, maybe it makes sense.
Yeah,
not this late in the game.
Not this late because
isn't Fusion one of the last games in the series?
Fusion is the last Metroid game narratively. So like this is the second to last Metroid game. Story-wise, if we're looking at the timeline...
Yeah, then having a character like that makes zero sense.
Yeah, Samus has done Metroid, the full Metroid Prime trilogy, Metroid 2, where she went to a planet by herself and exterminated species, and then Super Metroid, where she did that again, and then, like, you're expecting me to believe that, like, she's, like, scared of Ridley.
Right.
And it's like, no, she's not. She's killed this dude twice, and she's about to kill him again. And she's like, there's like a story like Ridley killed Samus's parents. Like that's like there's a comic. We're getting deep into my Metroid knowledge. There's a manga where like you learn Samus's backstory of like when Ridley in the space.
Yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense if that were the first time she fought Ridley.
Yeah, exactly. Like where you're facing this thing that's like haunted you, but like she did that already. It's just like it didn't make sense. There's a lot of parts of it that don't make sense.
Like, cause like Samus is like the most fascinating character as far as like as a Nintendo character, I would think, because like
absolutely
like people get so much out of her from those Metroid games, and she doesn't say a fucking word or even like really does anything like as far as like you know, like to show her personality, I guess, in those games. Like maybe I haven't played those games, so I can't really speak about that. But like I just know so people are just like so into her, and like I remember people just getting so burned by like Other M. Like I remember like I believe it was G4 with Abby Happy.
Abby Happy, yeah.
Yeah, she was the biggest one about like this is bullshit. Like
she straight up said that. I'm like, yeah, dog, it is. So like I agree. And like a big part of that is like she has had the chance to talk, right? Like Metroid Fusion is one of my favorites because like you get these really interesting dialogue scenes where Samus is talking and she's like exactly how you would expect her to be. She's like really assertive. She believes what she is saying. Like she is smart. She gets it. She understands. She's not dumb. But like that doesn't change the fact that she's seen this shit before. She like the whole part that Samus gets pissed off about in Metroid Fusion is like you find out there's like a secret Metroid facility on this space station that the Federation has, where they're growing Metroids, and she's like, "This is fucking bullshit." Because I went and killed all these things because you told me to, and you expect me to walk out of here and not destroy this? And she's like rightfully super pissed and feels super betrayed by the Federation, and that's why like everything ends on Fusion because she like walks away from the Federation. And it's like, yeah, like I totally get it. And it was like a really cool, gratifying moment for anyone that had played all the 2D Metroids up to that point. And then it's just like you don't execute on all that when you get the chance to. Like there are parts about like her characterization of like being kind of like a military brat in Other M that are pretty cool, but like then you don't hit any of it by the end of it there, and it just feels unearned, I guess. So.
Good talk.
Good talk. But Metroid's really good. I have a lot of feelings about it.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by this. Like, this is so cool.
It's like there's like a lineage there. Like again, and like that's the cool thing about silent characters that aren't always silent. Like it's not like Link where it's like it's a different Link every time, and it's like who fucking cares, really?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If he talks, like whatever, because like he'll just not talk in the next one. But Samus is different because like she has a story, and like you've been with her since the beginning, and she has a history. Like, you know, whether you fucking care about the manga that might not be canon or whatever, like, you know, she was raised by this like super space race that like gave her this power suit and asked her to protect the galaxy, and she loved them because they cared for her, and she does that because of them. It's like when you dig into like the motivations of this character and why she's silent and why she prefers to work alone and stuff like that, it's like, oh, like there's a lot here that is like way more interesting because like we don't really address it directly, because like it just is that way and we don't have to talk about it. We just like can take the subtext and be cool with it, and then, you know, you try and ruin that. But like it's a credit though that Samus is such a good character that even with Other M, like that being the bad egg, like I think she's still like really interesting and really cool. So so that's Metroid Samus Returns, which is very good. It's on 3DS and you should play it. I think I'm gonna write a review of it once I finish it, but I like it a lot. As a big Metroid fan, I like it a lot. Destiny 2. Other video game. So did the raid. For folks who don't know, I got a raiding group together last Sunday, a week ago today, I guess. Is it a week ago today? Yeah, it was. Shit. It's gone by in a blur. We Tony and I got a group together. It was Connor Sheehan, who has been on our Game of the Year content before, Cameron Abbott, friend of the show, friend from the Comedy Button like fan group, Mina Adele, that I had brought on, and Trevor Starkey, TrevorTrev.com, obviously, other friend of the show. And we did the dang thing. And so here's the thing. On Sunday, we started at around 3 p.m. Eastern. We stopped at around 3 a.m. Eastern. We got to the final boss. And well, there was a point where we just had to bounce off. And then so everything resets and you have to kind of start the raid over again on Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern.
Like completely over?
Yeah. So you have to like redo the raid pretty much, because that's the weekly reset in Destiny, which just means like the challenges reset, the raid resets, so you can complete it again.
But it doesn't checkpoint you from where you were at before, or
it does, but only within that week.
Okay.
Because it has to reset so it can give you loot again through the raid. So that's why. And so Monday night we got back together. We're going to finish the final boss. At around 4:44 in the morning, like 15 minutes before the reset, I had to call it. I was like, we're not going to do this. And, like, it was, like, a little devastating. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, we got so far, we had, like, in that night, we had gotten to the part where you can damage the boss for the first time, which you have to do 3 times. We got to for the first time, we didn't do it very well. And we were just done. Like, we were burnt, man. Like, there are a few times when I am, like, so invested in a video game where, like, you walk away failing and it just fucking hurts. Fuck, man. Like I couldn't touch Destiny for, like, a full day or two after that. I was just like, I can't look at this right now. Like that's how much. Like I'm fully like rejuvenated now, and I want to finish it. But yeah, it was just like it was a thing where like there. So this raid, and we talked about it a lot on Farm to Tower. If people really want to get the nitty gritty details, we totally get into it there. So the other raids in Destiny 1, like you can kind of, I'm gonna give the Cliff Notes version here. You can kind of like get away with it without voice chat. Like if you know what to do, if everyone knows what to do, you don't necessarily have to talk to each other. You can just go through the motions. There are parts of this raid that you have to speak. You cannot not speak, because like it's really smart the way they laid it out. Like for example, for you, Nobshin, because I know you're fascinated by these mechanics. At the end, right, you split into 2 groups of 3. The final boss, right? 3 are in the Shadow Realm, as we called it, banished to the Shadow Realm by Kaiba Seto Kaiba. And then 3 are outside, like fighting the enemies, and like there are these 4 platforms out there. These 4 symbols: a gauntlet, 2 axes, like 2 axes crossed, a sun, and a beast, like a war beast. The people in the Shadow Realm, all 3 of them, look up at like this big spectral version of the boss's face, and on his forehead is a symbol. Everyone in the Shadow Realm has to call out what symbol they see. They all see different symbols. So like one person will say cup or gauntlet. I see the gauntlet. Another will say I see the dog or the beast. And the third will say, I see the axes. The people outside the Shadow Realm will then know cup, beasts, axes. The one I have to go and hit is the one that wasn't called out, which is the sun. And they have to go onto that platform and kill an enemy that's standing there. Like, I don't know how you would do that without specifically using your voice, which hasn't been the case in the Destiny raids before. And there are multiple things like that where you have to call out something and you have to say it. You can't not say it. So it's that already raises the stakes that much more, and like the margin for error in this raid specifically is like 0. That final boss, like you just can't fuck up, man. It's just like, and I not gauntlet. I said gauntlet. I meant goblet. Correction. Thank you, Trevor, in our live chat. Yeah, it's crazy how much like what I like about that, and I talked a little bit about on that on Farm to Tower, is like I think raid groups are kind of developing their own internal jargon of like, how do you describe this thing? Like, oh, this place is called the cave, or this place is called the rock, or whatever. And that's cool, and I think that's another layer that makes Destiny unique, and it's very rad. Listen to the other podcast for that. Made another podcast so I wouldn't have to talk about Destiny as much on this podcast. But that also makes it way harder to like jump into any pickup group and go, because like they're gonna have their own way of talking about shit, and you're not gonna necessarily get it, and it's gonna make it that much harder, and that margin of error is so low. It's just, yeah, it's really, really hard. But it's really good. The mechanics on it are very cool. Has a lot of splitting the group. Like before, there was a lot of, in Wrath of the Machine specifically, there was a lot of, you split the group into 3 groups of 2 people. In this, it's a group of 4 and a group of 2, which is cool. There's kind of like an unevenness to it, and a lot of directing the group of 4, or directing the group of 2. So it's very good. It's very difficult. You can watch us play it. It's hard. And I guess, like, do we have to throw out that Yu-Gi-Oh correction that Kaiba doesn't banish anyone to the Shadow Realm? It's like fucking Pegasus or whatever.
Don't worry about it. You don't care. That's the whole reason.
The canon of Yu-Gi-Oh is very important in how it fits into Destiny. So let me tell you about the Taken, right? So the Taken are from the Shadow now. I also like had a revelation, like narratively, I think Destiny might actually be Mass Effect. Might be kind of the same thing. You played Destiny 2's campaign, Nobshin. Did you finish it?
Oh yeah.
So you know, like the whole thing that happens at the end.
Sure.
Post credits.
I saw it.
Okay.
I don't understand.
But like I was like, oh, like, you know, this is Mass Effect 2. Like I just like started thinking about that, and like the way Destiny 1 story works as well.
Sure.
So that actually makes me like Destiny more though. So, because there's no like decisions you make, so I know I don't have to worry about it like fucking me in the face at the end. No green lasers or whatever. But yeah, Destiny 2 is very good. I played a lot of it this week. Let me see, because I couldn't pull it up last night. I'm trying to see like what my time is on Destiny 2 so far. Most of the other guys are like past 100 hours. I don't think there's any way I'm to that myself.
Is it still time wasted on Destiny.com or whatever?
Yeah, wasted on Destiny.com.
Okay.
But like it's been having an error recently, so I haven't been able to see my time in Destiny 2. You know, the game just came out, so Trials of the Nine came out, which is like the kind of hardcore competitive PvP mode. Didn't play any of that shit because fuck that.
Are you interested in the Crucible at all?
I like it every now and again. I like Trials. The whole thing about Trials is like it's different game modes that are more intense. It's different in this than it was in Destiny Original, though. There's this whole idea of going flawless and like winning 9 rounds without losing, and then you go and you get like really good loot for that from the planet Mercury. So I think that's cool. Narratively, it's pretty cool, but I just like I'm not super good at Destiny PvP, so I don't pay too much mind to it. But that's really it. We covered it in Farm Tower, so I'm excited to finish that raid, and I will give the update when I do. What you been playing, Nabishin?
I guess since we're still talking about Destiny, I'll talk about Destiny 2. Beat that game. I enjoyed it for what I played of it.
That's good. I saw you were like saying like I feel like I would have enjoyed Destiny more if I hadn't played it.
Yeah, it's still that, like, the romanticism of it in my head from what people talk about it and what I my own information from it. Like I feel like I felt more strongly about that game. Instead of like having like, you know, my own certain issues, like, oh, I can't jump in this game real good, or or just like stuff like that, or like there are certain moments in the game where like it didn't like, you know, resonate with me. Like I pretty much like don't remember anything. Like, you know, I remember like Hale and like the main characters or the main
Kate
guardians,
6.
I should say. Yeah, Kate 6. Like I remember them, and but like everything else, everything just like flew over my head. As far as like understanding pretty much anything in that game. But like like I said, the gameplay is so much fun when I was playing through that, and like pretty much the mission with the Almighty in general was like just phenomenal. I thought.
Yeah, the where you're destroying the thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
I think that would have been a better closer rather than like the boss fight. Like the boss fight is okay for what it is, but like you know, it still wasn't like, it didn't hit me like how like going through that. I think that whole sequence was like just fucking great. But yeah, like yeah, like it like I said, like if I the romanticism of it like would have like been better with me, but like I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, I'm glad you played it. You know, like I know you're not super into first person shooters and like also multiplayer games just in general. So, but like even you knowing Cade and Zavala and Ikora, like knowing like, oh, those guys like is like 5 steps above anything the original Destiny did. Yeah, you can think about it that way, right? Like they weren't even really characters in the original Destiny campaign. They were in the Taken King campaign specifically. So like them being as in your face and like again like just seeing scenes where your character goes up and talks to them is big, and the way they kind of do that stuff. I like Gaul a lot. I think he's a really great villain because he like goes through this internal conflict of character at the end where he's like he wants to prove himself, but like ultimately he just doesn't want to fail so much that he does, you know, like, you know,
right.
And I think like he has such a great presence on screen, like just as far as like part of what makes him a great character is that he's just really interesting to listen to and to listen to how he thinks and listen to him speak just in general. So So yeah, I like that a lot.
I will say like it does feel like they pretty much did like everything like I felt like better, or from what I know of Destiny 1 and what they did in Destiny 2, like I feel like it's greatly more accessible that way. Probably like the only like tonally thing that just seemed like really off was just fail safe, but like other than her, like everything else is like everything fit for what it is. I feel like
I
fail
like
safe just seems like a little bit off for that game, like just in general.
I like failsafe a lot, mostly because I know you don't, but mostly because like she's on the planet with Cade 6, and like Cade 6 is also that kind of like tonally complementary, like opposite. He's like he doesn't take things very seriously, but you get to see like a little bit of him serious in this, and see how things have like gotten to him.
Yeah, like K6 is like, like he's one of those smarmy Nathan Drake somewhat kind of characters, but like, like he has his moments where it's like he can take stuff serious, stuff like that, and I like him for that.
Yeah. Failsafe actually does get those moments in the post-story quests when you.
Oh, that's probably why.
Okay. You find out about like her crew, and like you find her captain, like his corpse and stuff, and there's actually a surprisingly good moment with her afterwards as well. Okay. So, like they do execute on stuff, and like even saying like post campaign story missions, like, oh well, Destiny 2, I guess. So yeah, there's a lot there, and it's a lot of fun. So
does it seem like is what is how that game ended pretty much the next game, or is it going to be the next expansion? Or?
I think it'll be the next expansion.
Okay.
Because I think like much like Destiny 1, like we're stuck with this for a while. It could very well be a thing where like the next expansion just gets closer to alluding to what that is, and then the third expansion like brings that into the picture, and then you don't really execute on it until the next game. But I don't know. I think that the next expansion will be all about that, and I think that'll feel like a new game again. So,
do you feel like overall Destiny 2, it's like does it feel like this is like one of those like not really like Fallout 4 type of things, but as far as like, oh, you're doing the same thing again, this is great, but like this is like your last chance of doing this type of thing? Like no new classes or no new like same enemies from the first game apparently. So I'm just curious in your opinion.
It's tricky because it very well could be, right? I definitely like
if they did Destiny 3 and it's like this pretty much this again, like just but more of like a more grander story, I guess you would say. But like like still the same classes, still the same character creator, still like pretty much the same enemy you're going against, more or less.
So like if they did Destiny 3 and it didn't have the content of Destiny 2 in it, then I would be less into it, if that makes sense. Like I think if you do another game, it's got to have everything you had before and more, right? Like,
right.
I think like losing access to Earth, or like not necessarily Earth, but like to Mars and to Venus and to like those areas from the original Destiny was a big hit against Destiny 2, but it does so well at like creating these new areas that you get to explore that it's not a big deal. But like they've spent way more time making these areas in this game way more interesting and way more detailed. So like dropping them again and doing the same thing again in that regard of like, we're not going to embrace this MMO adjacent thing that we're doing. We're going to just keep dropping it and making new stuff again, I think would do more damage, weirdly enough, even if it was all new. But like, I get a little bit of that playing Destiny 2 because I did play so much Taken King and then so much Rise of Iron, and it's like I burned out faster on Rise of Iron. There wasn't as much stuff there, but I burned out faster on it.
Right.
And then coming into this, and it's like I did that, and then I'm in that part where it's the grind and whatnot. I get a little bit of that, but the formatting is so new and different. I think like I will know if they can do this again after we see what they build on top of this. Because if you think about building Taken King on top of the original Destiny, like that was a night and day thing. There's very much the possibility for them to do that here. So we'll see.
God, what was I about to say? Are you the same character from Destiny 1?
Yeah.
So how was that intro for you? Like, because
it was really good.
Because everything's over my head. Like you losing your light and everything like that. Like I didn't know like how impactful for like someone who has played like the old game and like going through that and like going through those segments without having your light and like you can die at any moment and then like you get it back pretty fast, but it's still like it was still like a good moment I felt for something for someone who didn't play the first game and like has those connections.
It's good. It's kind of like the the Uncharted 3 desert scene, right? Like where it's like this kind of feeling of desperation, just done slowly but well. And for me, like the bigger moment, I talked about this when I played the beta a few months ago, or a couple months ago, was like when you walk into the tower and it's destroyed and the Cabal are attacking it and Zaval's there like holding the line. And it's like this was the social space from before and it's on fire. Like when you do that moment, that's when it's big. Like that's when it hit me for the first time of like, oh wow, like this place that I spent so much time like organizing fire teams, going to my vault and whatnot is destroyed. That was like the first time it hit me, like more so than losing the light, because like I think the attachment to the Guardian is gonna depend on each player, or not to the Guardian but to the Traveler, is gonna depend on your player and like how into the lore and everything you are, which isn't necessarily me, even though I really like it. So like seeing the tower lost was big, and then seeing what happens with that at the end is also really big. The ending of it actually got me like way more into it, of like, oh, like things are different now, and I want to see. That's also part of the like when the next expansion comes out, like with what happened to the Traveler, like what's gonna be new now? Like how does this change everything? Because it feels like it should change everything. So. We'll see.
Are you more attached to your character or less attached? Because like in Destiny 1, you could speak, right?
Yeah, your character speaks, and they took that out at Taken King.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still upset about that.
I mean,
I'm more attached now because of like I feel like I've been through the shit with my character.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like a Titan as well that I like leveled up to max level in Destiny 1, and he's over in Destiny 2 hanging out as well. But it's less the like the spoken stuff. I wish that was still in Destiny. They make jokes about it in this campaign.
Yeah, I know that. I thought that was like clever, but like like it was like one of those like link disconnection type of things. It's like you should probably speak and like they allude to it. Yeah.
So maybe they'll bring that back and that'll be a cool moment. So
be like a Jack 2 moment.
Yeah.
Finally speak. Finally say something. I'm gonna kill
that Jack 2
whoever's
moment
name
is super good though.
Yeah.
I like Jack's character. Some people fucking threw a hissy fit about that shit, but I liked it. Any other questions?
I probably had a lot more last week, and I just forgot it all. So
all right, if they come back to you, just let me know. I like talking about Destiny, as you know. What else have you been playing?
Pokemon Go came out on 3DS. So
original Pokemon Gold 2. This is like Gold and Silver.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that. I didn't play too much of it, but it's nice to know I can save that game again without losing the save. Because like anyone who has the old cartridge from Gold and Silver, they can't save their game anymore because that battery died because of the night and day cycle and keeping your time. That battery's died on literally every cart, so like there's no way you can save in that game anymore unless you like actually like replace the battery manually. So like this will be the first time I've played through that game since I got it in 2000. So like it's gonna be a good trek, like going through that game again, because I enjoyed Pokemon Yellow last year. I enjoyed going through that entire game again. So I look forward to going through Gold again. But the main thing that's been keeping me away from that, because like I played like maybe like an hour of Gold, and like but like I've been too fucking distracted and just too into playing like Steam World Dig 2, like way more than I even like thought I would be, because like I was excited for that game, but it was like, fuck, this is like all I've been playing lately. Like it's just so fucking good.
It's just a satisfying game to play, man.
It's so satisfying, dude. Like it's just, and it's like this year's been so much as far as like like open world games or games that make you feel something, or or just like make you like really think and contemplate on like your life or life in general or something like that. And like this is just like a fun fucking video game, and it's just like just going through the motions and just like doing pretty much the same thing over and over again, but like in different ways and new dynamic ways and stuff like that. Because like I believe this game isn't procedurally generated like SteamWorld Dig was. So like these are actually levels. So like for the most part, and like it's just like you could tell how much better it is from the first game. Not that the first game was bad or anything like that. In fact, the first game was fantastic. But like this one,
just brief, you know.
Yeah, and this just like improves on just about everything on it. Yeah, like it's just so much fun. Like it's seriously like one of my favorite games of this year. Just I can't stop playing it. Like it's just so good.
And I got this, and I got Metroid. It's just like I'm drowning over here. It's beautiful. I love
it. But yeah, like I wasn't expecting to get into it as much as I have, and like I maybe put like I definitely put like over 8 hours into it. It only came out like maybe like a day or two ago. But yeah, it's like the thing I've been playing when I'm not playing anything else. Like it's the only like Switch game that I've actually like actually played portable and enjoyed it. Playing it portably, I could play other games. I could play Mario Kart, but like it's not like something I'm really like for some reason like the triggers or like the buttons don't really feel that good enough for me to play it that way. Like I put Tetris on the Switch as well, and like I can't play that game at all because like how the button layouts are or like how there's not a D-pad on the Switch on the Joy-Con, so like that makes that game difficult for me. But like I could play this game portably and like just like enjoy it for what it is, and like yeah, it's just so good. It's so fucking good. I'm
excited to get it.
I can't speak highly enough about it. Like it's seriously like one of my favorites of this year.
It's been rad because like since I got the Switch, right, what I did with that was like I'd play down here, but then I would take it up and I would play a little bit before I went to bed, like 20 minutes before I went to bed, up in my room upstairs. So I started doing that with Samus, like Metroid Returns. So I've been mostly like playing that not down here, but upstairs, like just playing it a little bit before I go to bed, get a couple of Metroids, and then put my 3DS to sleep, and then go to bed. And that's been like, because I don't get out much. So that's been my portable gaming experience. So I think like once I'm done Samus Returns, that's when I'll switch it up to SteamWorld Dig. And like that's been actually like a really cool thing to do. Like that's been fun. So rad. I'm excited. SteamWorld Dig 1 was so good, and I'm so happy they made another one. And I still want to play SteamWorld Heist or whatever the XCOM game one is.
It is SteamWorld.
Okay,
Heist.
good. I said it out loud and it didn't sound right, so I wasn't sure. Anything else?
That's pretty much it. Like I bought Night of the Woods forever ago and still haven't played it. Still need to do that eventually. Played bits of Yakuza Kiwami here and there, but like haven't really got deep into that game yet. Same with Uncharted. Bought that game. You
got a Hellblade too, right?
Yeah, I got Hellblade too. Play a little bit of that game too. I'm here and there. Like, there's just so much, dude. And like, there's priorities.
Before we started the podcast, I didn't help that situation either.
Yeah, now there's another thing I gotta check out. We'll talk about that in news.
But yeah, like definitely the next thing is Danganronpa for me, so I'm just trying to do whatever I can before
like,
then.
At this point, you're like, I can't commit to anything because as soon as Tuesday hits, I'm not talking to anyone ever again. Like, at this point, like, it still hasn't sunk in yet, like, that feeling that Danganronpa evokes in me, but it's coming. Tuesday. So...
Dude, that talk with Justin and Nicole on...
I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, you should until you watch that anime.
Okay. Should I watch that anime? Because I don't have a lot of time.
Like, only thing you really need to know from the anime is like it concludes those character stories from Danganronpa 1 and 2.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
I'd like to see their stories end. So.
It's worth it.
Okay. And like Hob comes out on Tuesday also. That Zelda-like from Runic Games. Shout out to that.
Do I know that?
Runic's the guys that made Torchlight.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
I think it's Runic. I might be wrong on the name. No, it's Runic. Okay, good. Which I'm not reviewing, thank God, because I still have to do Flint Hook and the other one, the other Metroid game that I'm playing. So I've written half of those, and I just need to finish those games at this point. So, but yeah, then fucking October. I don't know. I feel like not a lot of things that I care about are coming out in November, so like maybe that'll be a good time for me to, because Ni no Kuni 2 isn't coming out in November anymore, so maybe that'll be a good time for me to make up stuff. Yeah, I'm looking at the list here. It's not too bad. Unless you really care about Need for Speed Payback and Sonic Forces, which I don't.
Oh, that's another game I've been playing like constantly. Is Sonic Mania. Like I never talk about it, but like literally, I have been playing that game like every day.
It's just creeping up on you.
Yeah, pretty much. I play that game literally every day. I got all the Chaos Emeralds with Tails, and like about to beat the game with him, and somewhat started Knuckles as well. So yeah, I play that game like literally every day. So I love that game. That game's real good.
Good. Let's take a break. How about that? We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we got some news to talk about, TGS stuff, some other things, some things Scott threw in there, and then we'll throw out the show. We'll figure out bets or something too. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we will be back in just a little bit.
Choo choo choo.
I just thought of a good bet for Danganronpa also.
Okay, cool.
So I'll write that. I have to pee. God, I'm so weak.
Nato called it.
Yeah, he did. Oh, whoops. Well, like last night when we were doing Farm to Tower, like we went over time, and I ended it just because I had to pee so fucking bad. Because we didn't take a break. Oh, I'll be right back. damn it. I gotta stop hitting the mic. Like an animal. Jeez. Nabashin, are you back?
Yeah, I mean.
Remember when fucking Walking Dead Season 3 came out this year? Because I don't.
Ooh, another one for the list.
Yeah, there you go. Was this our, like, shit on everything list?
No, our NATO J list of... Hold on.
Oh, the NATO J list of unappreciated... I'm just thinking of the title. I haven't looked at it yet, but I imagine it's something like that.
You're the one who told me to make it.
I did tell you to make it. I don't remember what the name was, though. I can't remember my own name half the time, Nabashin. Come on. Fuck, Double Dragon 4 came out this January.
That's not important.
That's not important, but I just forgot. Let's see. Forza comes out in October. Oh yeah, that's the Dragon Dogma PS4 version. And Xbox One version comes out. Still need to play that game. I'll buy it like 7 times before I play it, probably.
Let me find it.
And Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga remake comes out on 3DS next month as well, which actually looks really good. No time to play it, but I'm glad that more people will be able to play that game.
I was thinking about getting it, but not
It's very
anymore.
good. Have you ever played it before?
No.
Okay. It's good. It's super, super funny. You would love the writing for sure. Middle-earth Shadow of War. Evil Within 2. Gran Turismo Sport. Man, that still has a hard release date. That's surprising. South Park. Fire Emblem Warriors. Destiny 2 on PC. Hidden Agenda. Oh, that comes out October 25th. Good, this is before Extra Life. We should save that one for Extra Life.
But yeah, I could do that. Marcus Key aren't going to play with me anytime soon.
Yeah, so we'll that'll be fun. Assassin's Creed Origins and Super Mario Odyssey and Wolfenstein: The New Colossus all on the same day. No big deal. I do want to play Assassin's Creed. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm not going to. Realistically, it's not going to happen. I want to play it. I'm interested in it.
So I'll spoil this category.
Okay.
So the category is called the NATO J Award for the best game we forgot existed in 2017.
There's a lot of games on that list, I bet.
There's a few. We have For Honor, Halo Wars 2, 1-2 Switch, Prey, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, Fable Fortune, Hey Pikmin, Ages of Mayhem.
Fuck, Hey Pikmin. Oh shit, I did forget that game.
That's the whole reason. Lawbreakers and Knack 2.
I've heard okay things about Hey Pikmin. I don't know, I'd play it. Yeah, so like after November, nothing's coming out that I really care about. Like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Okami HD in December, I guess, but
Okami HD, come on.
I'm gonna get that for sure. Like I'll buy it on Xbox One and PS4. Just make another Okami. Just please, just fucking do it. But
That's
like
not on the DS.
Yeah, not on the DS. I haven't played Okami Den, but I would like to. But like, there's no big game, right? Like Battlefront 2, maybe. But like, I'm like burnt. I don't even care anymore.
Oh, dude, like I bought Star Wars Battlefront when it was on sale for PSN, like the Ultimate Edition with all the DLC and everything for $5.
Never touched.
No, I touched it, but like, you know, it's multiplayer only, and like I just checked it out. I was like, oh yeah, like it's still thriving and everything like that. But yeah, it's definitely not for me. But man, that game.
Yeah, it'll do fine. Like Call of Duty's gonna do fine. Battlefront 2 will do fine. It's just like I have so much other shit like RPG wise to worry about right now that
for sure.
I'm
like
good.
I'm interested, like as far as like, you know, Mr. Story and everything like that. So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that
like,
story I actually do want to see.
Like I'm just curious how satisfying that would be for people, because like that's supposed to be canon and everything like that. So like, is it just, are people going to complain? Oh, this is just some fanfic, or is it actually going to be like a decent story? Because like, you know, it's Mitch Dyer and the guy from Spec Ops Online who did that.
Yeah,
story.
I think it'll be something to see. I might like Redbox that just to play the story mode too.
Do it. You get on the Redbox train, my dude. Let's look at shit.
Yeah, it's true. So like October, I'm just sitting here looking at it. I do want to get Evil Within 2.
Power on.
I can't pretend that I can get that game anymore.
Yeah.
I cannot. especially since I didn't play the first game. I still have it on my system, so
you do Wolfenstein. I'll do Evil Within 2. We'll cover our bases.
Okay, that works.
That way we can at least we'll have it.
Or is any of us getting Middle Earth?
I want to.
Okay,
it's just like that seems like a 50-hour game, and it's like I don't know where I'm gonna have 50 hours to play that game. Like that game looks super fun. Like Jacob Bryan and I were talking about the other night.
Okay,
it's like like this game looks super awesome. Like it looks like a fun, silly game. I love Shadow of Mordor, and like it's just like where the fuck is the time? Where's the time? I also like realized, oh yeah, I get my SNES Classic this week, and I was watching like the GameSpot unboxing video. I was like, I'm so excited.
Hopefully I can get that.
Hopefully Best Buy doesn't fuck me on that. I already paid for it, so I hope not.
Apparently they're doing good on this one. Like at the very least, I know like every Target is gonna have at least
like 60, I think.
Yeah.
So like 4 times as many as they had NES Classics. Oh, we didn't talk about that. That was news last week. They're bringing back the NES Classic.
Oh yeah.
And they were doing more SNES Classics. So. All right, we can.
So look like the last game for me this year, other than Okami HD, will be Mario Odyssey and Wolfenstein 2. So that'll be a good 2-month break for me. So at the very least, because it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm just excited because I'll have some downtime to get to the backlog games. Because like November is gonna be backlog month. It looks like so. All right, where is this?
It's got Danganronpa 2 and Cuphead this week. So.
Oh yeah, Cuphead. I'm gonna wait to hear what you say about that. I want to play it because I do kind of like Contra style stuff, but I just want to hear where you're at with it because it might just be too hard for me. I get that. Like I respect that. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Cool. Any other TGS news that we have to worry about here? Or does this cover it pretty much?
That's the big stuff. There's certain other stuff, but like the mostly the big stuff was at the Sony conference.
Okay. And I'll lean on. I'll leverage you for that because you'll know better than I do. So
yeah, I was awake for that.
Yeah, I was too, but I just wasn't watching it. So I was playing Destiny still. All right. That's not how that's gonna play, please. Dude.
Oh, were you getting Divinity? Or never mind, you're not getting it, but like, were you thinking about getting Divinity?
I like never really thought about it because it's like, man, this game is like my whole. If I play this, that's like the only thing I'll ever play ever. Jarrett might get it though, so he might tell me how it is. God damn it, you little MPOW thing. Bear with me, listeners. We have some technical difficulties. I haven't listened to a Giant Bomb podcast since like April.
Yeah, I've been really bad at my podcast lately. Like, I just got back to Weka's games this week, but I've been off of that for like 2 months.
The only video game podcast I've been listening to is Easy Allies podcast.
Yeah.
1 second. Are you guys waiting for me?
No, I'm trying to sync this fucking thing.
Okay.
I'll figure out after the show.
So I was like, I wasn't talking, and then we weren't starting, and I was like, I feel like I'm missing something here.
I mean, you're right to say something, I guess, but.
Yeah, I've fallen off on a lot of my podcasts, like Comedy Button. I don't even listen to anymore.
Because I got all these fucking video games to play.
Pretty much. And see, that's the fucking thing too. Is like everything's engrossing now. Everything like catches your full
It's
attention.
gonna be so good.
Like there's nothing I can put on the background anymore. Even Destiny 2, there were points where it was like, because there were parts I was just listening to the podcast while I was playing that, but I was like, oh, this is actually somewhat interesting. People are actually talking to me, so I have to pay attention.
You're telling me, like, when they said too much story in Destiny 2, I'm like, yeah, but now it's cutting into my fucking podcast time. Give me a second, guys.
Once again,
Yes.
Yeah.
too much story. Metal Gear Solid 4.
There are no 28-minute long cutscenes in Destiny 2, which was a disappointment. Let me see if I can get this to work then. I'm just a
One
mess
of the
right now.
one of the raids for Destiny ends with an hour-long cutscene that you can't skip, just so they can make good on their promise.
Just like you're just like, all right, get your popcorn. You just played a video game for 4.5 years straight, so. It is within range, sir. There we go. Yeah, I looked up this new podcast on YouTube. Only for 15 minutes, there was a guy just trying to connect something to a Bluetooth device. Like I didn't know if they were going to talk about video games again. I did it. Thank you for your blind faith, listeners. That's why you listen to the audio show. That's all I'm saying.
News in gaming.
Let's talk about some news. Scott brought this to Nobshin and my attention before we started the podcast. Toby Fox, maker of Undertale, the one-man Dream Team machine, partnered with, of course, other people. Tammy, specifically. Who made Undertale, has announced his next project, which he's the co-composer of a new indie game called Hive Swap, which is a episodic point-and-click adventure.
Yep.
It is
out now.
Yeah, part 1, Act 1 is available now, so that's a cool way to just drop it. It's just,
I'm not
hey,
sure. I'm pretty sure this was announced a while ago.
I
I just had no idea that he was up to composing for it.
Yeah, but still, like that's really rad. Scott sent us some hot tracks before we started, and it's good.
Are you in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
It's point and click adventure, and it looks really rad. What's cool is, speaking of point and click adventure, it's kind of like a little off topic, but so like I have a deep love of point and click adventures from growing up and playing them with my older brother Brady. We would play the LucasArts adventure games like Indiana Jones and Monkey Island and whatnot together. It was mostly just me watching him. Like, he was really good at figuring out the puzzles, and I was not. But I did want to give a shout out to another big point-and-click adventure game from this year, which is Thimbleweed Park, which partially developed by Ron Gilbert, one of the writers for Monkey Island. And it actually just straight up runs on the Scum engine, which is like the engine that the original Maniac Mansion ran in and everything, and Day of the Tentacle and whatnot. So like those LucasArts games, and it has like that pixel art style. So my brother Brady has been playing it, and him, Derek, and I, my other brother, have a text thread together that we've been talking about it with, and it actually looks really good. So
Are you? You said you're playing it, or?
I'm not playing it. Brady is, and he's telling me about it.
Okay.
He sent me a couple of videos, though, just like, because like my other brother is also a really big fan of those point and click adventures. I just never played with him. Like, my middle brother played with my oldest brother, and then I played with my middle brother. It was like a whole like coupled ladder thing, and so we've been kind of like having a nostalgia trip on that as well. So like, good year, secretly a good year for point and click adventure games as well. So it's called Hive Swap. I saw it's like available in the Humble store. And I don't know if it's available anywhere else. It might be on Steam as well. I imagine it would be. But check it out. $7.99. Not too expensive. And
I also
music's real
think
good.
I think Tumbleweed Park came out on Switch this week as well.
It did, yeah. So that's I'm excited to check it out. I'm looking at High Swap now. So if you like good music, Toby Fox helped make the music for this. And obviously Undertale, very important game to the Irrational Passions lineage. So thank you, Scott, for pointing that out to us.
Mm-hmm.
Other news, before we get into the TGS stuff, there is one thing. I'm kind of curious what the take around the table is here. Fortnite is adding a new game mode. Fortnite being that game that was in development for 50 years and then secretly came out over the summer, kind of. Is adding a new game mode that is similar to like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds game mode. Trying to like get a little bit of info because like I don't know what the player count for this is, if it's like as 50 or 100 or whatever.
I think it's 100.
Okay. And it is like, drop into a big map and last one standing wins. And apparently the PlayerUnknown's team has been kind of giving some bad pushback to this. That, like, the quote here from this GameSpot article is, we've also noticed that Epic Games references PUBG. This was never discussed with us, and we don't feel that that's right. So, essentially, the idea here is, let me see if I can get the Bluehole is the developer of PlayerUnknown's. Their vice president is Chang Han Kim. This is a quote from him. He said, "We've had an ongoing relationship with Epic Games throughout PUBG's development, as they are the creators of Unreal Engine 4, the engine we licensed for that game. After listening to the growing feedback from our community and reviewing the gameplay for ourselves, we are concerned that Fortnite might be replicating the experience for which PUBG is known." And I saw like a few folks had some interesting takes on this. Specifically, Andrea Renee noted that this was very hypocritical because, as it stands, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds takes a lot from like H1Z1 and DayZ and like those kinds of games. Not necessarily like one-to-one like a battle royale mode from those, but like there was it H1Z1 that had the separate battle royale mode, Scott?
Well, kind of, because I think I understand what he's coming from, but to put it in perspective, it's in terms of MOBAs, because we all know in which order they came out.
Yeah,
it would be the way that he frames it. He's essentially saying, if League were complaining to Dota,
yeah.
Sorry, it would be, he would be complaining that Dota 2 is hypocritical for League have been made.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's no real easy way to frame this.
Yeah,
and when
no, like,
it's
one-to-one.
When it's like, well, no, it's the League over here wasn't like the first game of this to come out. It was a standalone, and it was a standalone mod and this other game, which is almost the same exact thing that happened here.
Mm-hmm.
All of those games stemmed from Arma 3.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure 2 different games.
Yeah.
Not all the same one.
Not all the same one. Let me read a couple more quotes, though, because it does kind of thicken up here. The plot does thicken. It's all still from Han Kim. Apparently, he said, "We have also noticed Epic Games references PUBG in the promotion of Fortnite to their community and in communications with the press. This was never discussed with us, and we don't feel it's right. PUBG community has and continues to provide evidence of the many similarities as we contemplate further action." So I think like part of that is like when Epic sent out the press blast to press saying like, "Hey, Fortnite's adding a new battle royale mode," they specifically compared it to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds without at all letting Bluepoint know that they were dropping that comparison to press and to the wider audience. I think that's what he's at least taking issue with in that quote. He also says other companies will, of course, enter the marketplace, but I would just hope they put their own spin on the game mode and not just make a carbon copy. I try not to worry about them, to be honest, and instead just concentrate on completing my vision for a Battle Royale game. So, like, I understand, like, where you would think, like, this is hypocritical because PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds came out and it is kind of similar to...
Right, if the only game you knew before it was H1Z1.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, that's what you would think, and that's what I was trying to get with the Dota League thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's... Hey, this is all coming from mods in Arma 3.
Yeah, exactly. Like, at the end of the day, we're all hypocrites, right?
And, like, the big key here is... I want to say, like both games in the MOBA industry, at the very least, that's how that happened. It's the guy who made the mod is now making the standalone game.
Yeah. He's on Dota 2, right?
The Dota 2 guys and the League guys. Because Dota had several different developers. They all kind of... Some came in at different times and some split.
Yeah, all over the place. I understand, like, the kind of umbrage with using, like, that direct comparison when you're announcing it and being like, hey, we made a thing that's like PUBG.
Yeah, it's... The big gripe here is that it's too similar.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, and then it's... And you're name-dropping us.
Yeah, without asking us.
One is bad enough, although I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Is explicitly trying to write off of our success. Even though we know that's what you were trying to do beforehand.
You didn't have to be so, like, upfront about it, you know?
Because it's... The difference, let's go back to the MOBA comparison, is these games are trying to play out very differently.
Yeah.
Especially if you go and you add Smite to the mix. These games are trying to play out differently.
Yeah, and, like, you think, like, of the MOBA games that came out, like, Dota 2 is the most in-your-face of, like, it's the sequel to Dota! It's, like...
Right.
Like, you look at, like, Heroes of New Earth or League of Legends, it's like they have new names. They feel kind of detached from like, Warcraft 3 and everything.
Different. The way the maps works is completely different.
Yeah, and, like, Smite, especially, like, you know, this is a third-person action game, MOBA. And it's like Dota 2, and it is, I believe, the most similar to the original Dota of all of them, right? So
it's supposed to be the first one upgraded into its own engine to fix problems that they were previously had to work around.
Yeah. So, like,
and then to expand afterwards.
Yeah, so like, if anything, PUBG is like the Dota 2 of those games, but, like, trying to ride off of their coattails, especially, like, for big team like Epic, and, like, not having that reference point is not, like, a great look. But, you know, I can understand, again, I understand, like, the discomfort from Bluehole, like, to have that feeling. But, like, we're all kind of in the same gray territory here.
Right, because it's one thing to be, like, a cloning company.
Mm-hmm.
It's another to not just clone enough so that you can get away with it, but carbon copy and then name drop with your carbon copy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, like, a whole other layer to it. How do you feel about this?
Now, this is me all saying this from the news post that we just read.
Yeah.
Not actually going in and testing it out.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't know how similar they are. Actually, I'm looking at a gameplay video right now, and it's, you know.
I mean, like, Fortnite has stuff like building and stuff like that, so, like, they're bringing different things to the table.
Yeah. Per
se, but, like, you know, like, I don't think it's as egregious as something like, you know, like when Threes had, like, 1024 or something like that.
2048, yeah.
Yeah, copied, like, right off of them, or even, like, when Ridiculous Fishing got copied, and, like, I remember Van Beer being, like, very, very upset by that. Then again, we're talking about something different. We're talking about, like, the mobile space, so, like, you know, that's nothing but copies, and
that's the whole thing. Yeah.
So like and I guess that's really what it is too. When it's something like that small, it's like it's not whatever, but it's like come on, man, like this is like you're riding off a wave or something that's like currently popular, and just like making something really fast because you just can do it super fast and easy. And like then you have like the big publishers that's like copying something like right off the bat, and like almost blatantly as well. It feels bad, man.
Yeah.
Like that's all it really is. Like because I can see it from both angles. It's more of like it's kind of like, why wouldn't we do this? It's like it's just a new mode. It's not actually like the game. It's not Fortnite itself. It's just like something extra, and it's not like something that's gonna be as polished or as good as
right. It's
as
like
PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Yeah.
especially in the context of how they're implementing it.
Yeah, like this is their PvP mode. Yeah.
Doing the mode itself wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't. It's
just,
really the name drop here.
yeah, like the promotional stuff is like weird, and just it seems a little skeezy. Just like in that, like, hey, like we're doing what they did. So,
Right, and it's a catch between the lines too. It's on one hand, if they don't say where they got their inspiration from, and it's that similar, people are just going to call it out.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, if they do,
they look like they're riding the coattails,
I mean, they are either way. Another big killer here is that they didn't tell Loophole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though they not exactly working together, but they could be in communications.
Is this where we just start saying like is the pub gub of kind of like Google? It's like the Dark Souls, the Dark Souls.
I kind of like I see us totally going in.
Not
there.
really.
All right, fair enough.
Let's talk about that specific type of statement for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you say, "Hey, it's the Dark Souls of this," you're not saying, "Oh, hey, it plays out like a third-character action game that has very tight and specific controls." What you're saying instead is
it's really hard.
It's not just that it's hard.
You have souls.
It's that
We have souls.
it's a very punishing game for when you fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
On top of it being hard, and it balances all of that by being extremely rewarding when you win.
Yeah, and also like
Any game that doesn't have all three does not fit the Dark Souls comparison.
yeah, and also like I think when you say something is the Dark Souls of another thing of another genre is like you're making kind of like a cultural comparison to.
Right.
So like, it's going for this.
Yeah, and it's for PUBG, whose biggest kind of cultural thing would be an action thriller game.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like, no, it's not the first one it's not the most iconic game to coin that type of game, so no.
No, I think
it wouldn't really happen.
I think as more games inevitably get that battle royale mode, though, we will reference them as it's got a mode like PUBG now. Though I think like I could see that happening.
I could see it has a PUBG mode happening.
But you're right, Scott. It's a different kind of comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Nemesis system never got stolen. Surprisingly,
I know. I'm still angry about it.
But like Horde mode did, and like that's what everyone compared. Or
everyone says Horde mode.
Mode, yeah.
So like, I think there's definitely room for because no
Which
one
I think
says
is
it's
dumb.
like, well, tomato. But like, no one says like if something has a battle royale mode, it has like an H1Z1 battle royale mode. Like they say it'll have like a PUBG mode because that's like the big one that did it right. So I think that could be what we're looking at going forward. Although I think battle royale is good if we kind of keep it agnostic like that. So I don't know. It's an interesting story. I'm actually like having this conversation kind of reminds me of like the kind of conversations that the Waypoint guys talk about. So I'm curious to see what their take is on it. Interesting topic at the very least. Let's talk about some TGS news. Because that happened.
Yeah, it did.
Is that over? That's over, right?
It's still kind of going on. TGS lasts a while. I think it lasts.
Right?
God, I think it lasts like maybe
a week and a half.
or 5 days, something like that. It lasts a long time because there's so many like negative days as far as like like I think there's like 2 press days and there's 3 for the public or something along those lines. So.
And then there's also like everyone does their conferences before the show before the press days even start. So, what happened? Nabishin, give me the TGS rundown.
Some big ones like Left Alive got announced. And like the big takeaway from that is like for most people is like they have the art director for Metal Gear on there, Toshifumi Nabishima. You'll actually no, I'm sorry. that's the Armored Core director. It's the Armored Core director, and it's Yoji Shinkawa who did the Metal Gear art. And that's a big takeaway where everyone's taken away from that.
Because he did like the original Metal Gear Solid art, right?
He's been doing every Metal Gear art.
Okay, so like he did like those really great like a black and white hand drawn stuff. Those are like iconic in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, like anytime I see that art, it's just like it just blows me away. But yeah, like we don't really know what that game is. Like so far, all they described it as like a brand new survival action shooter. And it's supposed to be dark and gritty, and it's inside the front front Mission Evolve universe.
Okay.
So
I like new game franchises taking place in old game franchises universes. I like that. Like Nier and Drakengard and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the announcement trailer and it seems cool.
Yeah, people are excited. So
I like that the director has kind of like your name, like Nabishima.
Sure.
Got that Nabishin reference in there. But yeah, I'm curious. Like it's a Square Enix published game too. So could go either way is what I'm saying here. I don't know. That's cool. Left Alive. What else?
Monster Hunter World's finally got its release date, worldwide release date actually, which is January 26, 2018.
First Monster Hunter on a non-Nintendo platform in a while too. So
yeah, there was one on 360 a while ago, but
like since like Try, like all of them have come out on Nintendo platforms, right? So
Try was on Nintendo's console.
Yeah, so like Try. And then Try HD or Ultimate or whatever the fuck it was called was on Wii U, and then 4 was on 3DS, and then
yeah, like I think the last time it was like really off a bit, like or at least like a big one was like the PSP one. So that'll tell you how long it's been since.
It's been a minute. A whole Vita came out in the middle there, which sucks because that would have been a great platform for Monster Hunter, I think.
But no, we got Soul Sacrifice.
Yep, that's probably why Nintendo scooped it up. But yeah, still no word on Monster Hunter Cross either, right? Like that's still not confirmed for the
I think it's Double Cross.
Double Cross, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
So yeah, that's cool. January worldwide. PS4,
Xbox 360 or Xbox One. Sorry.
Yeah, it's coming to Xbox 360.
PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So yeah,
cool.
It's covering all the spectrums, and yeah, I'm actually surprised. Not surprised, but like I'm actually thankful it's coming onto Xbox One because like the latest trailer for it is like it shows like how different that game is, or like not really how different it is because it's still Monster Hunter and by its core, but like how it seemed not. I can't even say approachable because I'm not sure. It looks really cool. That's all I should really say. Like a lot of people are really interested from that trailer, so like hopefully it'll pan out for everybody when it comes out and like get like some more Monster Hunter fans out of it.
Yeah, I'm like I'm always like one bad day away from getting into a Monster Hunter. So like
is that your Joker or something like that?
That's my Joker. Yeah.
That's your killing joke.
Yeah, I wake up and I'm Tony Horvath. It's like but I think it's cool that it's coming to like super HD consoles, whatever you want to call them. But like, it's gonna fucking look super good on PC though. Like, I'm kind of just curious to see what this game looks like running on like a high-end PC. Because when they did that first demo at PSX or E3, whenever they did it, I was just like really impressed by how it looked. So
Yeah, just get ready for Tony to tell you to buy that game, Scott, so you can play with him.
yeah, exactly. Except you guys will be able to play it on PC, so it's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
that's what I mean.
Yeah. Looks rad though. Also, there's a new Shadow of the Colossus PS4 trailer.
Looks real good.
Looks really good. Just like on a video games graphics level, looks very good. Still plenty of questions for that game. Like obviously, it seems like hard line that it's not anything new per se, except for controls. But you know, I love that game so much. One of my favorite games of all time, and there's just like some effects and particle effects and things that happen in that trailer that are just really impressive. It just looks very, very good.
It looks finished too, so I would expect that probably at least by summer. So
yeah,
it looks really good.
And that's like Blue Point is doing the remaster on that, so it's like, yeah, those guys know what the fuck they're doing. Like, I don't think anyone remasters games as hardcore as Blue Point does. So yeah, that could be a good, just like they could drop that pretty much anywhere they need it next year, because you know obviously Sony's got like God of War early next year, so yeah, like summer would be like a really good time to just throw that out there, get a lot of people to play it. So, Final Fantasy IX for PS4,
yeah,
which is weird. It's just, you know, it's a straight port. It's like the PC version. Came to PC and mobile last year, so it's that version of the game. And I don't know. Apparently, it has no analog control support. So you can't use your analog sticks with that game, and it's bad because of that.
That's weird.
I saw people bitching about it on Twitter. That could be a thing that they patch in later, also. So,
I mean, doesn't Final Fantasy VII have analog control?
It does not. It doesn't have native ones. It has like the forwards compatibility one. The 7 PS4 version does, but the original PS1 doesn't. So yeah, that's weird. It's a weird thing, but it's cool. Like, you know, Final Fantasy IX is obviously very beloved. It's one of those games that I feel like either someone is Final Fantasy IX is their favorite game, or they've never played it. It's one or the other. It's never.
Oh, 9?
9, yeah. Like,
that's funny too, because that's Mark's favorite.
Yeah,
and that's like that's the only one I know that he beat. So it's weird.
Because like, if I feel like if I've met someone, like they're like, oh, I never played 9, or I've never really played. I played a little bit of it. I never played. Like I played like the opening section when I was younger, but again, I was a dumb kid. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But like, I know so many people that just like impassionately love that game. So I don't know, it's cool. Still no fucking Final Fantasy VIII on PS4 though. Shakes fist in the air.
I don't think anybody's missing that, which is weird. Like, man, like you know, it's how things over time just like evolves. Like people either really love or they really fucking hate it, and like I think 8 became that, like something that people just like, oh, I hate that game type of thing. So
yeah, eight's weird. Having like gone back and played it, half of it for the first time this year, you know, like it's definitely like maybe one of the weirdest Final Fantasy games. Just because of how its mechanics work, but yeah, I don't know. What else? Not much.
Yeah, because hold on that point, they went ahead and they quote unquote got rid of grinding in that game.
Yeah,
because of the consequence of grinding.
Yeah,
but I think they inadvertently made so many people have 4 to 5 times the grind fest because they fucked up their builds.
Yeah. And also, like, there is a level of grinding in that you have to, like, draw magic. So you can't, like, just go around without any magic, like, saved up. So you have to grind to get that. And then, like, by grinding, you're making yourself have a worse time, like, later down the road with that game. Like, the whole scaling system in 8 is so odd. It's also, like, a timing mechanic to attacks. I don't know. Final Fantasy 8's a weird fucking game. I still kind of want to finish it, but like I kind of like got what I needed from playing the first half of that game. Like, you know, I think I get it. Like, I don't necessarily need to see it through.
I get that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if that changes at any point. least I understand it now. Because there were so many times where I tried to start playing 8 and I had no fucking idea what was happening.
Yeah.
What else, Navashin?
One of my favorite games of all time that I've never beaten. Zone of the Enders, the second runner, is getting remastered with VR support. Really?
So is that Zone of the Enders 2?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know it was called the second runner.
Yes.
It's an interesting name.
Man,
So,
even I beat that game.
yeah. What does Zone of the Enders VR even look like?
It's the entire game in VR. Like it's pretty much that that you're when you play that game, there's like cockpit scenes. So like you're just pretty much in that cockpit, and like you'll just see it from that view, going against all your opponents. So actually looks cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like a mech game would be the game to do a VR game for. So that does make sense. Are you gonna finish it now, Shin?
Hopefully, like the PS3 port was real bad. I rebought that game like probably 3 or 4 times. Hopefully, I can beat it. Like that and Okami. Like those are the 2 games. Like I've always loved and they're my favorite games, but like I never beat them.
Okami's very good. It's coming out in spring 2018 in Japan, so no word on the U.S. release date yet. But yeah, it's so cool. Like I'm looking at the trailers as we kind of go through the announcements. And,
That game is real fucking good, dude.
yeah, it looks cool. Like Zone of the Enders, like of the mech games, I guess. Like is one of the cool ones because it's so fast paced. So I don't know. Fucking. I just saw the next one, which I hadn't seen yet. It's like, hey, we're putting Noctis in Dissidia again, so...
Again?
I mean, like, in Dissidia again, Noctis separate. Like, those were 2 separate thoughts merged into one sentence. Hey, we're making a Dissidia game, and this time we're putting that Noctis boy in, that pretty boy in there. Which is cool. I mean, that makes sense. Like, he should be in it. And, like, Dissidia, Final Fantasy NT, that's like the arcade one, right? And that is coming to consoles now. So I don't know when that was confirmed. It wasn't here, I don't think, but that's cool.
What, in general?
It was in general coming to PS4 and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, making it more all encompassing. I want. Before Noctis, I still want like Lightning to show up in a Kingdom Hearts game, just be like cool and shit. But now I guess he could show up in that too. Navashin. Just bring back all those bad memories. Noctis comes in and kills Sora and ruins Kingdom Hearts for Navashin as well. Just salt in the wound. He put like the last scene of Kingdom Hearts 3 is like Noctis picking up a Keyblade. It's like, he's the protagonist of Kingdom Hearts 4, and I was just like, fuck this game.
I was like, oh, there's that story I was looking for in that fucking game.
Yeah. Is Dissidia good, Nabashin?
I don't know. I never played those. You have to ask Justin for that.
You have to ask me.
Yeah, Scott,
played
is
those.
Dissidia good? Like, I'm looking at it, and it's just, there's a lot of...
They're pretty fun to play.
Okay.
There's just not a whole lot to them, I guess.
Alright.
In terms of... The story mode's pretty good, but after you get through the story mode, there's not too much point in playing it anymore.
Yeah. Not a super competitive game.
Unless you
Well,
want it
it's
to be.
not just that either. There's this entire leveling system that takes way too goddamn long.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the reward for getting it is just that.
It's like, you did it.
It's the reward for getting it is similar to getting the star in Kingdom Hearts after you've already went and completed everything.
Okay.
It's like getting that final star on your character, the star level, the max thing,
Yeah.
after you've already essentially got the platinum trophy.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing at this point?
You're just doing this for you. This is an internal struggle. Yeah, Noctis looks cool, though. I was just watching the
He
trailer.
can be.
So.
Yeah.
He can be alright. As far as like his battle mechanics and all that. It looks like he's fighting the guy from the Final Fantasy 15 movie as well, like that big knight guy, or not? Maybe it was some other fucking big knight guy. Final Fantasy has a lot of those. Dragon's Crown's coming to PS4, also,
Awesome.
which is super cool. That game will probably look really good in 4K.
Yep.
So that
Actually, it's so funny too, because like when you watch the trailer for that, and it's like, and it shows like the 4K mode looks exactly the same.
yeah,
Because the game looks so good to begin with, so
Yeah.
you know.
the animation in that game though is fucking stellar.
Oh yeah, it's on point. Probably the biggest thing about that though is like it has crossplay with the PS3 version and the Vita version, so like you can play in all 4 of those versions. So
That's awesome. And I know Justin was actually talking about he wanted to go back to play that game. So now I think he tweeted something from the show, Justin Graphics. He tweeted about like he's glad that he waited on it. So I still never really played that game. So I'm always hesitant with vanilla stuff. Like I don't know how into it I would get. So
Muramos is like the only thing you really need to play.
okay, noted.
You should have that game.
I do. I have it through PS Plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking the Neko Atsume game is coming to VR.
Yeah,
I
dude.
didn't see this either. For folks who don't know, Neko Atsume is the game that my sick obsession Notice Me Senpai is actually based on. Where you have like a yard and you lay out cat food and cat toys, and then you close the app and then you open the app up again and there's just cats hanging out there eating your food and playing with the toys, and it's like, oh, I got cute cats. That's like the whole thing.
Dude, Notice Me Senpai in VR? Like what?
Dude, fucking fuck me.
You and Kaylee would fucking die.
Oh, now that you open this possibility, I gotta start sending some very heavily, strongly worded emails to Skillshot Labs, telling them they gotta bring it back. You took it away from me, but you've got to bring it back. Fuck. Oh my god. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad that's a dumb fucking VR game, and that makes me very happy. Anything else? No, I'm sure.
That's pretty much the big things. Like Neo's coming out with a complete collection by the end of this year, with all the DLC stuff like that. So
Did that come out this year? Fuck, it did.
do I need to add that to the list? To the NATO
No,
Johnson
because
list?
we played that game. I played 80 hours of that game.
And apparently you forgot about it.
That was this February. It's just like, fuck.
Which game is this?
Neo, the Dark Souls the Samurai Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't forget about that game.
I just it just sank in again. Like Resident Evil 7 came out this year, and Tales of Berseria. It's just like, oh fuck, whoops.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking forward, because we just over the break we went through like a little bit of a list of the games coming out for the rest of the year, and it's like, oh, Mario Odyssey, and everything before March is just a blur.
That's how it is kind of every year, though.
Yeah, but like even
Like,
more so
the
this.
but not like 20 games for like like the first 3 months, and then like you have to remember all of them.
Yeah, like Horizon, Neo, Resident Evil, and Tales of Berseria are like 4 fantastic games that came out in the first 2 months of this year, and it's like I have like another 8 games that I have to finish still that are great, and another 10 that are on my top 10 list right now. So, GG. Cool. Tokyo Game Show seemed like it was a good time. I feel like there was like maybe one other thing I cared about announced in there somewhere, but I forget. So clearly I didn't care that much.
Android 17.
Android 17, Android 21, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Oh, now I'm saying this. I didn't get to pick your brain on this. What's up with Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
It's real fucking good, dude.
Yeah. So you talked to Cameron Abbott about it, right?
Yeah.
You guys had a fresh off the dome about it. Looks good, man. I was watching stuff at work the other day. I was just like sitting there watching gameplay. I'm like, fuck. There's gonna be story mode in this.
It's surprisingly like accessible to like everything is just quarter circles, 2 buttons, quarter circle a button, something like that. So like it's super accessible. Like you have 3 characters to choose from. It's so much fun to play. It's gonna be fucking lit, dude.
You know what you did play, Namashin?
What?
Fucking Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh, that's totally right.
I remember this because you just mentioned having multiple characters. I'm like, oh yeah, Namashin tweeted about how bad the story mode was.
Yeah, that story mode was fucking garbage, dude.
So like, I played the demo this week, or last week. It was last week because I was just curious, and I had downloaded it a while ago, and I hadn't gotten to it yet. And I thought, like, this isn't good, but it's, like, dumb in a fun way. Like, he's like, oh, like, you know, Thor is yelling at fucking Chris Redfield. And it's like, this is dumb, and it's fun. So, like, is it bad, like, actually bad, or is it, like, just dumb, and it's trying to have fun, and it doesn't succeed?
Like, it kind of takes away from the game. Like, pretty much entirely. Like there's nothing... There's no point to even having it, really. It's almost at the point, like, your game would have been better if you would... Like, we would have complained that there wouldn't be a story mode in it, but, like, your game would have been overall better because of that. It's so weird to say that, but, like, that's kind of how you feel after you finish it. It's just, like, there's nothing really there. Like, because, like, they take the time to explain, like, how, like, Ultron Sigma got, like, made, and, like, you know, Ultron and Sigma fused together, but they don't explain, like, how, like, pretty much, like, Spider-Man and, like, Frank West became, like, this, like tag team duo or whatever.
Because they're both photographers, man.
it's just...
They've seen wars, you know?
Yeah, they actually make that reference in that
nice.
Game.
All right, this game sounds great. Now, you're full of shit. Is what
I mean,
I'm
you
saying.
can play yourself Redbox it, my dude. But yeah, that wasn't worth almost anything. Like, almost every character in that game just look weird in this story. No one has necks in that game. It's
I'm so glad I remembered this. This is very much worth it.
Gameplay wise, though, it's fantastic. I like playing that game a lot.
Okay, good. As long as it plays well. Like, at the end of the day,
yeah.
I'm into that. So,
but
did you
yeah,
buy that or just rent it?
I have rented it. I Redboxed it, beat it in like maybe 4 or 5 hours, and took it right back, and they didn't even charge me for it. So, like,
oh, nice.
So.
Slipped under the radar on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Well, there you go. That's video games. Anything else? Now that I've brought that back to you?
No, that's pretty much it.
Good. I'm glad I remembered that. Fuck.
Man, fuck. I need to add that to the list because I forgot about it already.
Yeah, you forgot about it and you played it this week. Like, harsh. So I was thinking, like, Dragon Ball FighterZ is going to be, like, the canonical good Marvel vs. Capcom game now. Except it's just a Dragon Ball fighting game. And that's okay, because it looks amazing. Dude, like, I'm so excited. We talked about it a few weeks ago, but, like, this is Arc System Works, like, fuck with me money. Like, they're going to be able to do anything they want after this does well, and it's so exciting. Because those guys fucking deserve it. They've put in the work. And, like, I was thinking about it also because I saw that Android 21 announcement trailer. It's like, oh, there's going to be, like, a story mode in this game. And, like, Option loves that Blaze Blue lore. Like, this could be, like, a really good story mode. So, that's actually really exciting.
Yeah.
So, question. Also, the thing I was thinking about is the tournament stage in that game.
What do you mean?
Like the where they do the fighting tournaments
In Dragon Ball FighterZ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there ring outs in that?
No, you pretty much stay in the ring the entire time when you're fighting. Okay. But like you can knock them out and like you like it makes it like a big spectacle when you do that. So
okay, I was just curious because like I was thinking about I've been thinking about Dragon Ball a lot this week. I don't know why. Yeah, you take it aside, just think about like the tournaments in Dragon Ball versus the tournaments in Dragon Ball Z and kind of like the comparisons there.
Oh, Dragon Ball proper. Okay, cool.
Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, yeah. So and like how big a mechanic in those fights like ring outs were in the original Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't in Z. They made more of a joke about it because everyone could just fly. And I was fascinated by that. I was like, man, like there's so much more tension because of that in Dragon Ball for those tournament arcs.
That's why I really like Dragon Ball more than the rest of them. Not that I don't like the rest of them. Actually, to be honest, like I do feel I do like all encompassing because all it is just Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. But you know, like if I would say like where I liked it the most is pretty much like the beginning part, personally. Yeah,
because like you always bring up like there's so many interesting characters and like it's just really about Goku and Vegeta by the end of Dragon Ball Z, and like the other children Saiyans. Like even Gohan like gets thrown to the side by the end of Dragon Ball Z, and he was such a big part of that show at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I get it. Dragon Ball's really good.
It is.
Like, you know, it's silly and dumb, and it's a bunch of people grunting at times, but it's also like good, and they're great characters, and like they all have cool powers. And as far as like the original shonen show, in my heart of hearts at least, like it's very good. That's it. That's the show. Like we don't have any questions. So there's no more news. Let's
Yes.
Oh, actually, there's one question. And I don't actually know how to say this one word. So you can tweet your questions at us. Tweet them at IrrationalPod with hashtag IPQ. We'll read them on the show. It's from Jake Nichols at Jake R. Nichols, our boy. Shaboy. He says, and we do have that voicemail.
How many anime figurines do you have?
And I was just like, no, I gotta go down another rabbit hole. He says Gamera or Godzilla. I think I'm saying that right.
Gamera.
Gamera. Okay, yeah, you're right. Immediately heard it. What is Gamera? Which one's Gamera?
Gamera is the turtle thing one, I think. The turtle
Godzilla
kaiju.
then.
Well, I like turtles, so.
I like turtles.
God damn.
Sorry, I could not. I'm triggered. Yeah, well, Godzilla, because Godzilla's way cooler. I'm looking at Gamera. He's cool, though. He's got cool fangs. But I just like Godzilla a lot.
Yeah, Godzilla, man. You look at Shin Godzilla, dude.
Dude. Shin Godzilla looks really good. Have you watched it?
Shin Godzilla looks fucking gross.
I mean, like, the movie looks really good. He himself does look fucking gross, but, like, he should also kind of look fucking gross, you know what I mean?
You should watch that movie and then listen to the G Club where Dan and Aaron talk about that movie.
Oh, shit! Yeah, I should. I didn't know about that. I'm subscribed to the G Club. I haven't listened to a single episode, but I'm like, I'm going to support you guys because I love you boys.
Dude, it's so good. It's so
Is
good.
it?
Yeah, the G Club. Because it literally is like what Fresh Off the Dome is. It's like just them talking about one topic and just like talking about it until they're blue in the face and just done with it. So.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And it's my boys.
Yeah, you're right.
You right? Let's listen to this voicemail from our boy Silver PR. He sent it last week. Just like update, you know, fucking like 12 hurricanes just hit Puerto Rico. Just by the way, send your good vibes at Silver PR on Twitter if you have any. We would appreciate it. You would appreciate it. Let me see if this will work. Please work. Please work. Okay, it's working. Whew. And let's take a deep dive.
What up, guys? Hope y'all here. I hope everybody's doing all good and well. Yeah, alone in my home, taking care of my two kids while the missus is down Walmart or in some other grocery store buying supplies, canned foods, and whatnot that we had to get prepared for the passing of the next storm that it looks like it's going to go through us, and it looks like it's going to be potentially a Cat 2, Cat 3, and it's going to be very dangerous. And, you know, Irma graces us, and it was really a dangerous storm, and he graces us, and he, you know, hit us pretty bad. But this one wants to take us to the Stone Age and finish the job, so hopefully it will be like Irma, but we have to get ready for the worst, and that's what we're doing Saturday night. You know, I got batteries, I got water. I got already the same things that I'm gonna install when the storm comes through. Reinforce them because this one's gonna be pretty much more dangerous. So hopefully it's just another Irma for us, but the Caribbean's gonna get hit bad again. And you know, Godspeed. Pray for those people. Pray for us. And if you don't hear from me for 2 weeks, maybe I'm dead.
Don't
But
say
hopefully not.
that.
I'll make sure
he's not dead.
That happening. But aside of that, I was gonna watch the Eve movie in theaters tonight, but like I said, all this stuff we have to get prepared. So you know, not watching the movie is just first world problems. Aside of that, video games wise, nothing new to talk about. I do download it, Infamous Second Son and Strive Vector FX, I believe is the name of it. The free PlayStation Plus games for this month, and I haven't started any of those yet. But I want to talk that I got Destiny 2 in digital form.
My
that
boy.
was awesome. Thanks to the kind gesture of a friend of mine that I'm not gonna mention his name unless he wants to come forward. Perhaps he's listening to this
It was
show
me.
right now.
No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't me.
And you know, out of his pocket, out of his goodwill, out of his kind heart, he gave me a $60 game, and I wasn't expecting that. I did receive a code from this person in private, and you know, I thought it was a small game, maybe an indie game, one of those PSN games, and you know, like, yeah, I'm gonna catch it in. I thought, you know, it was gonna be awesome, and a kind gesture, and all of a sudden I found out it's Destiny 2, and you know, I had interactions with him afterwards, and you know, he knows my feelings. I was happy, I was bawling, I was baffled by the kind action, and you know, I just want to tell to this person that perhaps is listening. If you want to come forward, go ahead. And I just want to tell you, my friend, you are an amazing human being. I know that you're capable of such thing. I have listened to you and seen you through social media throughout the years, and something like that comes out of you from time to time, and I know that. But all of a sudden, from a guy, you know, I'm not a stranger to you guys and to you, my friend, because you have listened to me all these voicemails throughout the years, and also through social media interaction and playing on PSN, you know, from time to time, even though not that many times. I wish it would be more. And I just want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for that freaking kind gesture. I'll make sure Destiny 2 will not go wasted on my console. I'll play as much as possible of it before and after the storm down the line, near future, when light comes back up here, because I know lights are gonna come out, and God knows when it's gonna come back up. So yeah, you're an amazing person, and I love you, man. You're quite the bro. You're quite the brother, and God bless you. And I'll make sure to pay it forward back some way, shape, or form. And I just want to say that even though we haven't seen ourselves face to face, maybe one day we'll see each other face to face. And I just want to give you a handshake and a hug, because you're being a great friend, with or without gifting me this Destiny 2 game. You're an amazing human being, and thank you for that. God bless you, my friend. I hope that also yourself, like me, that 2017 hasn't been kind, mostly to me. I hope that good things come down the line for you. You deserve that and way better and way more. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much about me. Hopefully I'll see the movie, maybe not. I have to survive a storm first. Without further ado, have a fun one. Happy Saturday. Pray for everybody down here in the Caribbean. CLPR signing out.
Damn, Tony Horvath is really a generous person. God, that was a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Silver. That was super sweet. And Silver he survived the storm. He's okay. Tim making us worry like that. But yeah, man, all the storms back to back, man, down there. Too rough. That's it. That's the show. I think that's all we got.
Yeah.
Let's throw it out. You can leave us a voicemail, 404-590-1337. It's the voicemail line. Long distance fees do apply. Mailsack at IrrationalPassions.com is the email address. And you can follow each of us on Twitter. I'm at AlFutter27. Scott is at WhatTechuz. Nomishin is at NABESHIN186. Tony's at Tony Horvath. Wherever he is the Tony Horvath. And the show, site, everything you need to know for Rational Passions is at IrrationalPod. Some other stuff, rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play as well. Check out VGEvo.com, the podcast there and the network we're part of. Listen to Monthly Passions podcast, which is still a thing, Nabishin. Now you were curious about that last week. It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Just more like intermittent. And input, of course. Please listen to input. Twitch.tv/IrrationalPassions, YouTube.com/IrrationalPassions. Still doing I'm trying to stream Destiny at least every week. Been pretty good about that. So, sorry for the inconsistent schedule, but everything else is going up on YouTube. If you like the show, tell your friends. Word of mouth is the best way to spread the love. And for everything else, Irrational Passions, IrrationalPassions.com. Now it is time for bets. Did you like how I fucking nailed it, Nabishin? On that last one? Right on the money with my NASCAR bet? So that was
Give
pretty
context for Scott.
good. So the bet that was resolved last week was your favorite bet, Scott. NASCAR Beat 2 comes to PS4 and Xbox One and PC on Tuesday in the most positive and accessible review on Metacritic. How many times will the word NASCAR be used? And the most positive accessible review is Polygon. It was used exactly 15 times. Did you add that to the total, Nobishin, at the top of the note?
I probably didn't.
You didn't. All right, I got it. This week's bet. Danganronpa V3 comes out on Tuesday. How long will the credits be for Danganronpa V3? Which is like a total shot in the dark for me because I actually don't know how big that team is. And they've obviously grown a lot since the first two came out. Now, we are down one better on your team, Nobishin, but you guys are winning pretty hard. So I don't know if you're cool with that.
It's fine.
Okay. How long will the credits be? Danganronpa V3. Now, Scott, this is a Japanese visual novel. I don't know if you're familiar. Let me see. That seems like a good number. You can type it in the chat, and when you're ready, you can hit send. Okay, that's a good spread. I said 4 minutes and 18 seconds.
No, I don't think they'll be that long. When games do credits, they generally don't.
It depends.
They generally don't do they do a dump and not a big scene. It's different. Specifically.
Well, like there's a lot of voice actors in Danganronpa, so. Nobishin said 7 minutes and 23 seconds. Scott said 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay, that's good. I think that there's a good swath. It's anybody's game. That's what we're saying. That's it. That's the bets. Let's throw it out. How you guys feeling? This is a good show. I had a good time. It's good to get back in the groove of it. We are recording next Friday, this coming Friday. So we are going to be recording on Fridays. Just a heads up to everyone listening, watching, observing. So there you go. There's your warning. That's it. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. Go check out his Destiny 2 track, Thundercat Style, with Panda Musk if you haven't already. Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Nobishin, for joining me as always. I love you guys. Made that as gross as I could as well. And I don't know what Tony's up to, but he's probably just jerking it so right. Just throwing it out there. Think about that as we leave you from this podcast. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Titles?
Titles, Scott?
Give me a second.
Take it
Titles. You know I love me some good ebooks. I don't remember that one, so.
I don't really remember that one either, but it's really good.
Something you said.
Yeah.
Metroid lore with Alex. Banished to the Shadow Realm. At the end of the day, we're all hippo chips. What? I don't remember that one either.
Hypocrites, but hippo chips. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brian Nabashima Jackson. I'm always one bat away from getting into a Monster Hunter.
All right, that's so good.
I'm gonna have to go for that last one.
Yeah, that last one's really good.
Yeah, sure.
I'll say the episode title. Does someone want to say the number?
You're oh.
Because it makes sense. I'm one bad day away. You know.
I gotta say it like you mean it.
I'll say it like I mean it. Don't you worry.
All right. This is Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 346.
I'm just one bad day away from getting into a Monster Hunter. There you go.
Thank you, John Ferguson.
Thank you. You can stop recording now. Thank you everyone for watching. I love you all. Have a good night.